assume you checked out the draft?
Yeah, I've been checking the draft, and I wanted really to discuss with you. I don't know if you said already for your viewers, but I think TaToH is like 0.5 ahead already. I love the draft he got.
I like his draft as well, but I am so surprised that Chinese was picked. Like, Chinese was the 8th pick. So that is super surprising. Chinese normally considered maybe the best civ on Arabia, and then they picked it as number 8, which is very surprising.
But China is not having a really good result because in most of the cases it's being played against Aztecs or Mayans, and the Meso Civs are definitely taking the lead there.
Yeah, but I would still say historically that Chinese historically is better than both those civs. So
yeah.
I do agree they've not had that impressive results so far this tournament, but normally speaking, Chinese should come ahead for the most part. But yeah, we have Mayans for TaToH here in the red color. We have Yo in the blue playing as Chinese, and some laning going on right away.
Oh, I don't know if I'm live completely. Oh, I think I need to catch up a little bit.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm at 3:45.
Yeah, I will be there soon.
So TaToH actually pulling off the lane. He's taking 2 sheep from Mr.Yo. When you are able to lame Chinese as well, it's even better because Chinese already have a little bit of an awkward start with starting with extra villagers and not starting with any food in the bank. So stealing 2 sheep, big win for TaToH here. He also caused some idle time on the villagers. So TaToH off to a great start so far.
Yeah, I'm checking the idle time, and usually the maximum that you want to get is like 24, 25. He's already on 34 seconds, so idle time, no ships at all. And the map, what do you think about the map for Mr.Yo? Because, well, he has one secondary goal at the back that can save him. Otherwise, the other 2 goals were terrible.
Yeah, quite an open map for Yo, but Yo usually is very good at like securing his map one way or another with some smart walls. So I'm sure he will have no problems doing that this time as well. Currently, Yo, I don't think he hasn't found the second boar either. So he's already like the first boar has run out, and he's just now found the second boar. So the food economy here opening for Yo is going to be very awkward, very not smooth, you can say. Even though he has pushed a deer and probably push another few. I think TaToH has had a way better opening so far.
Yeah, and I really love also the Mayans. Remember, guys, the Mayans resources last longer as well. I mean, we have seen many gameplays with the Mayans, like going classic arches. What do you think is better to go, a fast opening or maybe trying to go for a Draz transitioning to fast castle eagles? Or is too risky with this map?
I usually don't like to go eagles with Mayans. And the reason Aztecs eagles are so strong is also because of 15% faster production on military buildings. I think it's 15%, I'm not 100% sure. But either way, that combined with the better farm economy of Aztecs is kind of what makes the eagle play so strong with Aztecs. Mines don't have the same kind of power spike when it comes to eagles. And then mines have the bonus with cheaper archers, so you kind of it's more natural to go the ranged path with mines, but eagles are an option. And either way, I think it always depends on how the game is playing out, right? You want to commit to one opening and kind of go for that, but I don't think there is one right or wrong way to play it.
Anyway, TaToH is usually more applied to go more standard, more meta. And yesterday we watched it also TaToH with the Mayan versus cocast. I watched those games, and he played more like as soon as possible 3 TCs. Didn't make that much army, and then he dropped a castle as soon as he could, and then he destroyed the Imperial.
So Yo is under the fuel age here, slightly faster than TaToH. And looks to me like Yo wants to play meta arms, because the barracks is being rushed up quite fast. And he's moving to those 2 goals. So meta arms opening for Chinese, which is something you don't see very often. But that is Yo's choice at the moment. TaToH looks like he's going for exactly the same. So mirror opening, and it's very likely we'll see both players transition into ranges from here as well. So we're going to have quite a mirror match on our hands so far.
Give me a minute, Viper. I need to increase you on my own. Okay. Talk to me now, please.
Hello. How's it going?
I told you to talk, me, man, and not to whisper, man.
Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check.
Yeah.
1.
Hopefully now is better. It's much better here. I think people is now listening you here in my channel as well. Thank you, man. Well, with the huge walls here from TaToH, kinda expected, and he's going with the 3 militias, trying to wall everything on the right side. But they are going to meet. They are going to meet already in the middle, all the militias, but he missed those, and now he's gonna take one. TaToH, well, a small advantage already for him.
Yeah, getting some free hits, and TaToH just passing the unit. He doesn't care. He goes straight forward. He wants to put on the pressure on Yo's map, and just he knows where the militia of Yo are. So he just short walls now his main important resources, drops an archery range. So he wants to put the pressure with his own men at arms, and then transition into range behind. And very likely we'll see Yo do the exact same. But Yo's wood economy lacking a little bit behind.
Okay, we can see how Mr.Yo is already with the man at arms, getting closer to the wood line. Not gonna make any damage. Everything is just completely wall. But also we see how TaToH is trying to make the same. But not so efficient walls here from Mr.Yo, but obviously didn't lose anything as the archery range goes to the TC, and now he's walling the goal. Not so much damage so far. Use a little bit of idle echo, Viper, but pretty close still now. Nothing really going on at all.
Yeah, both players reacting. Oh, Yo's goal, Yo's goal. Ooh, Semifinal almost got in there, but Yo got there in time. Yeah, both players are reacting nicely with the short walls. Both players got the range up. And yeah, nothing really major has happened so far. They're both exactly mirroring each other. Biggest difference right now is the food income right now. If you see how many villagers they have on food, Yo, missing those sheep, only has 5 on food. That's 3 on the berries. And even one guy on the berry cannot drop the food because of his walls. So Yo's food transition is struggling a little bit here, while TaToH looks way healthier.
And in this situation, I always love to make this kind of question now that you are here with me. Look, it is really worth it to make the blast beat that fast. Maybe he needed a little bit more of farming because he's gonna probably make the blast beat, and either he has to sacrifice production villagers or he cannot make the fletching.
Yeah, in this case, I definitely would have delayed fletching because of the situation the food is in, right? And again, Yo still hasn't fixed the villager on his barrier, which is... That's a lot of food in the long run. And the big difference in the build so far has been that Yo went for a second lumber camp, TaToH just stuck on one lumber camp. So I feel like TaToH got a way smoother transition because of that. And I mean, it shows as well. Look at his economy and compare, and Yo doesn't even have wood upgrade.
Yeah, well, and... Oh, that's crazy. I mean, but look at now, no wood upgrade, cannot make fletching. He almost cannot make even ability. Now he's gonna make it. If he's doing ability, still no fletching at all. But I think doing a little bit more farming. Look at that village on the mill. He's there stuck for how long already? Oh.
Probably like 2 minutes. Like since the men at arms came in there pretty much. So early in feudal age.
Yeah.
So he's been stuck for over 3 minutes at this point.
Yeah, and the problem is that when you click here, the idle button, it doesn't detect it because it's stuck. And now let's see the button there on the goal.
Yeah, got cleaned up quite easily there. Nice defense by Yo, not taking any damage, but the men at arms have kind of played their roles. Both the men at arms just bought time while they're trying to transition, but yeah, like I've said before, I think TaToH's transition is just way healthier, and his economy is looking way better set up for going into the next phase of the game compared to Yo, who he's doing fletching now, but he still doesn't have double bid-axe. And at this point in the game, double bid-axe is something you could easily forget, because it's already so deep into feudal age.
Viper, let me make some questions, man. I was going to ask you why they are doing usually the men at arms, and then you make the answers always before I make any question, man. You explain everything. Stop a little bit, Viper.
Okay,
Just explain everything. I was thinking the question, and I said, "Oh, come on, Viper is telling a guy, and he's explaining everything." Okay, Viper, I let you go. I watch it.
You let me go? Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, let's go. No, but now jokes aside, and the economy looks. I mean, this is the craziest also with these civilizations. The resources are looking pretty similar. Now we see how it's exploding a little bit the economy for TaToH. Look at the food, look at the gold. I love these capture rates because, well, you can see pretty much everything, how it's going. And then dropping a market is maybe a possibility to balance because usually with the Meso seeds, we see how most of the players gather a lot of gold with the Meso and market balance the economy and then go up.
It's kind of very common though, especially because if you want to go eagles, you want to put a lot of vills on gold anyway. You don't need that massive amounts of farms. TaToH now doing a second lumber camp, so he's gonna get a lot of wood income soon. He might have to fix that. Yeah, probably the market will be logical for TaToH, considering the wood count he's gonna have. 2 ranges though for Yo. TaToH is only 1 range, and yeah, there's the market as we see. But TaToH might be over aggressive here because Yo does have the numbers at home.
Okay, let's see, because for now, I mean, we're talking how much they can do, but the damage has been used the men at arms. KD, 3-3 Viper. So they didn't take any villager. The economy, nah, but look at that economy now. I mean, TaToH is gonna go up to Castlage already. He dropped the market. He's buying their resources, and he's on the way to Castlage in 18 minutes. He's gonna be so quick, like 20 minutes. couple of minutes advantage. Do you think gonna be able to go castle it earlier, Mr.Yo, than that?
Well, it's gonna be a big time window for Yo TaToH to do damage, right? The big thing is, I mean, this all stems from the opening where Yo lost 2 sheep. He didn't find his boar fast enough. But TaToH has to place the house fast. The archers are coming and they're following, and TaToH, he does react nicely. And also another thing to point out is that Yo went for second range earlier than TaToH, so that's also slowed down the food income a little bit as he has been making so many skirmishers. But yeah, TaToH is gonna probably be cast edge before Yo even picks up, and that's gonna be a scary time window. If I was TaToH, honestly, I would even consider deleting the wall and go for the counter attack. And look what TaToH's doing.
Yeah, this is what he's going to do. Ah, but he spotted. Look at Mr.Yo with the scout. The value of the scout. To don't lose the scout. He can see those archers coming. I don't know if he noticed. I mean, he passed through these through those archers.
He's auto-scouting,
going forward. He's alright.
I think it's auto-scouting. The scout is just going back and forth and stopping and going as if it's auto-scouting. I don't think he saw it. Like, it was in his vision, but he didn't actually physically see it.
Okay, well, the archers are about to be there, and he doesn't have a tower there. He doesn't have really anything. It's 30 seconds only. In 30 seconds, he's gonna be in castle, and then with Botkin and crossbow, maybe he should wait a little bit. TaToH is what he's doing in purpose, or he just click to the right side. Ouch! He was going to take the goal with those archers. Well, he got few skirmishes, so maybe he couldn't really do that much damage. And now going to go to the right side. But Mr.Yo will be able to defend. He's on the way to Castle Edge. And now what? Mr.Yo, more archery ranges or dropping a stable?
Yo has to stick with archery range there. It has to be elite skirmishers or crossbows. Now TaToH could have obviously gone straight for the gold. He would have had a nice chance there, but also at the same time, that's where Yo's ranges are. That's where it's likely that Yo's army is. So TaToH didn't want to take any fights there while he was still in feudal age. Yeah, TaToH will have Balkan arrow and crossbow now, and the wall will go down so fast, but Yo placing a market behind and doing a tower as well. So no matter what here, TaToH will take a lead in economy because of this, because Yo is spending all his stone now on a tower, meaning he cannot drop 2 TCs in the castle age. But at the same time, TaToH actually sold 100 stone to go to the castle age, so he will also have to get stone if he wants to go for a 3rd TC. But TaToH doing a very important upgrade there, which will be ballistics, and that's going to be finished before Yo is in the castle age. So that's a lot of potential to do damage in micro with the tech advantage.
I know they're the time. Look at now, he's like 5 billions. I know the market that he's probably not gonna finish, but he's spending more stone. Obviously he has 700 gold, so he can buy resources. It's a lot of other time. And where's the military from Yo to try to stop those? He's coming now behind. He's doing all the arbrace, Botkin, crossbow, Lee skirmishers, Tone Watch. I love the Tone Watch early on, but in this situation, he obviously knows where's his military is with heal advantage right now, and he will try to trap him. He might lose everything now, TaToH, TheViper.
I really disagree with what TaToH is doing now. Like, he just sits on the hill, right?
Yeah.
He had the time still to be active with his units, to micro, use the ballistics, but he just placed his army on the top of the hill, and now he's making town centers. TaToH could have done way more with his army, but now Yo is going to just clean it up, and suddenly after this fight, Yo is going to have a massive military advantage, and then Yo can start putting a forward seed shop and applying a lot of pressure. I feel like TaToH really misused his castle army here early on. He's going to take a great eco lead, by all means, but I feel like there was so much more potential there.
And usually Mr.Yo feel comfortable with this kind of situation to go aggressive. It's true that right now he just bought it the stone. He bought it another one. He has bought 200 stone, also wood. He balanced the economy. Now he has no village on gold because the Conquerors are choosing the main goal. But maybe he's not gonna be able now after this crossbow. You can see Viper, like what you were telling. He's there with the crossbows, and look, he made him move completely. It was a little bit of a waste, as you mentioned, but well, he is stabilized now. Mr.Yo as well, and TaToH, well, TaToH is sit down on 3 TCs with Bozo as well. He's still with the advantage, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're on point there. TaToH was a very nice move by TaToH there with the second army coming to the gold of Yo. And the good thing about that in particular is that it's going to slow down Yo's. If Yo wanted to go for a continued push, it would have slowed down a lot because he wouldn't have the gold to make mangonels, etc. However, we can see on TaToH's side of the things, he still has a lot of crossbows, and he has already 2 mangonels ready to defend. So even if that pressure was coming, TaToH looks fantastic to deal with it. Yo, however, did buy the stone he needed to add the 2 extra town centers. So we're entering a mid game where it's very, very close, where TaToH has a slight lead.
So now what? Because, oh, well, the answer is there. Siege Wars up, close to TaToH base, but TaToH has already 3 mangonels on the way. Is that too many mangonels, Viper, or you agree with that? Because, well, when you invest a lot, obviously you sacrifice some economy, but also potentially if you lose them, then, well, I don't know. I think maybe he should wait a little bit to see what is coming, because 3 mangonels already is quite a lot of resources.
I like that his mangonels, but I feel like he should use them, right? Bring them with your crossbow, and then you can start attacking. The way it's right now, it's just he has mangonels sitting inside his base and not really doing anything, right? But if he had like 2 mangonels out with his 8-9 crossbows on the left side, then he could have moved across the map, maybe put some pressure, deny the zero shop coming in now, which he obviously doesn't know about. But trust me, TaToH knows that this is the way Yo plays, and he will be expecting this.
Okay, I trust you, Viper. I trust you.
Yeah, you should.
Okay, Siege Wars up. Now trying to break there. If we check now with his point of view, with Mr.Yo point of view, he cannot see the Siege Wars up, but he can assume that he's gonna be there with the siege as well. So for that reason, he has those military. He's gonna probably drop an outpost with that villager. There you go. The outpost is coming, and ballistic now for Mr.Yo. Do you think Mr.Yo will add also a stable when he gather, I don't know, like 30 something farmers, or he will keep villager down, or he will keep with this push?
I think for now he will keep with the push, but TaToH is the one who's making the tech switch. TaToH is doing Eagle Warrior and dropping 2 extra barracks. So TaToH is making the tech switch with 2 Eagles, and I kind of like this move because if he was trying to go greedy, go to Imperial Age, he would have potentially put himself under a lot of pressure. But what he's doing now, he's going to prepare an army that can clean sweep everything Yo has and in one go, and then TaToH has full control of the game from that point. A lot of this will come down to Mango and Micro for now, but Yo, the TaToH still making the switch, and he has a great economy to do so.
Okay, he can do it, but the economy for Mr.Yo is looking great. I don't think that he's gonna try transition directly to him, because like you said, if TaToH is now doing a lot of eagles with also 13 archers he has and all the siege, he might push Yo completely back. So maybe Mr.Yo should do definitely something else.
Well, Yo doesn't. He has nothing that implies that TaToH is going eagles yet, right? He doesn't see anything that says so. So Yo for now just continuing with the range production, and there's only 11 crossbows, and the 13 skirms don't do anything to the eagles. Maybe some like mangonels do a lot of damage to eagles if you hit, right? So with some correct micro, mangonels could also do a lot of damage to eagles. But we see a stable coming down from Yo as well on the front there. So yeah, Yo is not planning to ease off the pressure at all.
But I really like what he's doing now, TaToH. Look at TaToH with those archers, with the counter attack. Let's see if he can really do a lot of damage. Those archers are not yet in the range, in the POV from Yo. Now Yo is gonna be able to see them, but let's see, because he can catch up many villagers. If TaToH, no, but don't hit the house. Go to kill the archer, kill the villagers. You see, I mean, he's telling Mr.Yo, hey, I'm coming. Ouch.
Indeed. TaToH with a bit of a mistake now. He wants to repair the town center, but he doesn't have any stone in the bank, so he cannot repair yet. He just drops some stone from the mining camp on the left side though, so he does have the stone now. And this is the first time TaToH will show the eagles. TaToH has 4 mangonels and eagles, and he's gonna start taking the trades. 1 mangonel down for Yo so far. Looking very good for TaToH here.
Yeah, this is gonna be great. He's gonna clean probably all the mangonels. Now he take 1 for 1 in that one. He's gonna try to kill another. All the mangonels going down. But Viper, then is when we can see how good China can be as well. Look, Mr.Yo economy. He's clicking up to Imperial already, and he can drop a castle. Now I believe that Mr.Yo will drop the castle at home. Probably he wanted to come here, forward, but obviously, thanks to that TaToH transition with those eagles, he's pushing him back. And TaToH balance his economy with the market on the way to Imperial as well. It can be closer game at the moment. Look at the time up. But the transition to Imperial, in my opinion, at this point should be better for the Mayans.
Way better. Yo is going for multiple stables now in the back of his base, because he needs to find a way to counter the eagles. The issue for him is though that he only has 26 villagers on food, and that's not enough to go for a big cavalry play. And he's trying to drop a castle in the center of the map, but he's sending 10 villagers forward now, but TaToH has eagles around, so this could very well be what we like to call a doubt castle, but yeah, Yo thinks twice about it and makes a safer castle instead. And I have to point out, TaToH did an amazing move on the left side there with the crossbows. He obviously knew that Yo was in skirmishes to deal with that, so TaToH sent 4 eagles as well to help out get those crossbows out alive. That was a great move. But yeah, I feel like TaToH is just in a really commanding position right now.
Yeah, the mobility also that did give you those eagles, how cheap they are, 20 on food, 50 on gold, still coming with the eagles and archers. He forced Mr.Yo to move back, he's losing more villages as well. TaToH has killed already 9 villages, but it's not only about that, a lot of idle time. Look at those villages in the main goal, how many times he went back and forth, and they are not even working. Almost half of the game.
Yeah, and TaToH can keep applying pressure on that. And Yo, I mean, he only has the secondary gold in the back, and that only has like 1,000 gold left. So Yo is soon going to find himself struggling for any gold income if TaToH keeps the map control. And at the moment, again, Yo is making knights, but the numbers aren't there. And TaToH already has 23 eagles. Yo has only 3 knights, and he's trying to go cavalier. Elite eagle upgrade might be enough to just finish the game here. TaToH is looking fantastic.
Yeah, he's going inside now with so many eagles, the crossbows. This will be a miracle here for Mr.Yo to be able to get the game. He's still doing more stable. The cavaliers might be great, yeah, but as you say, how many resources you need to make them elite eagle warrior? And imagine when TaToH drop a castle he doesn't have yet. Those eagles are, I always say that those eagles, the Mayan eagles, are like 1.5 unit. I mean, 100 HP Viper is insane.
Yeah, for sure. And TaToH playing it safe. He goes in, does a little bit of damage, and then he just moves his whole army back again to make sure he doesn't take a bad fight. But honestly, he has enough numbers there that there's no chance he will ever take a bad fight as well. Elite Eagle is going to kick in as well just as he started fighting here, and TaToH will get an amazing trade here. Nice use of the crossbows as well to hit the knights, and I don't see, honestly, I don't see what Yo can do from here.
I know what he can do.
Alt F4.
Exactly. He can't resign, Viper, because man, 98 villages. Thank you. Just see Memphadamus is on point, Viper. I mean, I didn't want to say, but nothing else he can do. I mean, TaToH has played an amazing game, didn't take any risk, and in my opinion, this is the Mayans' power. Seriously.
Yep. He got away with the successful lame as well, which Yo had to spend a lot of time with his scout and a villager chasing that eagle that was laming, which meant he didn't scout his boar as well fast enough. And all these small things that happened in the early game just slowly transitioned into a way better situation for TaToH. Even just men at arms, right? TaToH walled his resources, Yo walled his resources. No one lost any villagers. But even that berry villager that was stuck for 3, 4, 5 minutes wasn't collecting food for a long time. And the economy for TaToH was just way better throughout the game. And I really, really liked the eagle transition he made in late cast stage, because if he didn't do that, he might have struggled a little bit with pressure. But that eagle transition just gave him everything he needed to fight back in one go. And then behind that, he was floating like almost 2,000 wood, so he could easily balance his economy to buy his way to Imperial Age as well. And I mean, if you look at his resources now as well, he almost has 3,000 wood. So that was kind of out of control. But yeah, very well played by TaToH. Nicely done. Obviously, I'm not going to hide it. I'm cheering for TaToH. He's my teammate. I'm not sure what you're feeling. Obviously, TaToH is Spanish and you're Spanish, so maybe you have a little bit of bias there as well. But I will be the biased one. You will have to be the neutral one. So
I never cheer for any player. I never cheer for any player. Do you believe that?
No. But you do
okay.
a good job hiding it.
Okay. No, but honestly, I always want to see the best games possible. Obviously, I have always my favorite, you know. But I always want, for example, in this kind of series, to see a 3-2, 2-3. You know, I hate those a 3-0. I mean, like everyone else, no. But I wanted to ask you about the Meso civilizations and the Chinese. I mean, the tournament is the Ethiopian Classic tournament, you know, but the meta right now seems to be slower than probably was back in the days. I'm not sure because we didn't see probably all the games, but as far as I remember, all China versus Meso is a loss for China. All them.
Jordan beat Meso yesterday against Nikov with China.
Well, okay.
So that was at least one win.
Sorry, but I have to. I mean, don't remind me that game. I don't know if you watch it. I almost hit my microphone because
when Nikov resigned.
Yeah, man. I mean, seriously, Viper. Like, yeah. I mean, if you can come back with a civilization, that's it with Mayans. You know, because of what transition they have. He was ahead 5 villages. And the population was literally 2 population difference. And nobody was like even going to be, I was like, really? And I don't know, like, I still think that Mayans is so strong for these matchups. And Chinese, do you really need to go so aggressive? We can go, for example, in the games you were doing. I know it wasn't not Mayans. We were talking before about the games you played yesterday, but you took a bad battle, and that's the problem, you know. But till that moment, I don't know how did you feel yesterday. You were playing amazing that game.
Yeah, I feel like I should have won that game. Even that fight, I think I should have won that fight if I just microed. I just let all my units fight because I thought I was winning the fight. If I just like pull my knights a little bit more back and micro my crossbow, you know, hit and run, hit and run, hit and run, I would have. I think I would have very likely won that fight. But since I let them all spread out and fight, my arrows were also spread. Like crossbows numbers are good when you one-shot units, but I just let all my crossbows shoot. So they shot like, so I had 30 crossbows and they all shot at like 15 different targets. Then you don't kill units fast. So it was definitely a mistake on my end in taking that fight in the way I took it. I think taking the fight was fine, but the way I took the fight was not fine.
Yeah,
But I
I
mean
was
that's the
talking
issue.
with
That's
sorry.
the thing with Eagles. When
Yeah.
you take one bad fight, it just snowballs out of control so fast.
I was talking with TaToH this morning about the situation of that game. I mean, the players when you are playing, can you really realize how was the current situation? Like, I don't know if you know how it was the game at that point, but the players can realize that, for example, at some point, well, at the point that you took that battle, you were like 20, 30 villages ahead. Do you really
Yeah.
realize that you are that ahead? I mean, how the players feel about those moments? Because you are playing, you see the score, you know that the score in the is kind of tricky, but did you realize that at that point you were that ahead or not?
Yeah, for sure. I was
Okay.
making comments during the game as well. I was like, if I lose this game, was like, then that shows how strong Eagles are. And
Yeah.
yeah, no, I definitely knew I had a lead in villager count and position as well. Like I should never lose that game. It was a
Okay.
very poor
Let's move
execution.
on.
Yeah, no, I
Viper.
think I played very well,
Yeah.
but I think I took one bad fight and that's enough. But yeah, we have a game.
Yeah, let's go. I was about to tell you that, but we are in Nomad and we have Malian TaToH, Spanish, Mr.Yo. In this one, would you prefer? Because we all know that Malians has pretty much like Persians, you know, the discount, though it makes you make the dock and then a PC chip right away. But we have seen how crazy strong are Spanish. Also, you saw yesterday how strong they are with the Kongs and everything. What do you prefer for this matchup?
The thing with Kongs is that there's like Spanish also get quite a good start these days because they will just build the TC so fast, and so you're not necessarily that far behind, even though the other guy can get a fishing ship right away. So yeah, Spanish don't have a bad start, and then when you have that, like the castle is almost guaranteed to go up because the villagers build so fast, and then you get those Kongs running around on a map like this where like to take gold and stone and wood and food, whatever, you have to kind of spread your economy. You cannot really wall as easily as you can on other maps. So Conquistadors just has so much more potential on a map like this, where economies are super fragile, and then there's usually one castle drop followed by another one a couple of minutes later, and it's the same as with, you can view it similar to Eagles. Even though he has the worst economy, the power of the unit just makes a snowball so strong. So Spanish are super scary, but I still think it always depends on how fast the castle comes up, how the water fight is, how close the docks are, and yeah, how fast the conquistadors pretty much get going.
I wanted to talk to you about the Spanish bonus. Do you really think Spanish village should be the buildings faster? I'm a Spanish as well. You know, TaToH, how many people from Spain you know? You think that bonus is really accurate for Spanish people, for Spanish?
I'm not gonna pretend that I know history, so I cannot really comment on that. I'm sure you will have a better idea.
Yeah.
Is there anything in the Spanish history that implies that you guys build faster?
Come on. I mean, you have seen TaToH in NAC, for example. TaToH was playing and sleeping. Playing and sleeping, for example. Sorry for TaToH, I love him, but you know, I mean, we don't make anything fast.
So you should build slower, is what you're saying.
Of course. I mean, we need 4 villages to build the TC. Seriously, man. Not even joking, man. You don't know the word siesta? I'm sure that there's a lot of people in your channel that they know as well. Come on.
I know
Or Spanish trade. I mean, Spanish economy bonus trade. I mean, the developers in this bonus, and I'm a Spanish myself. Disaster, Viper. Sorry to say.
I think TaToH told me once that even in Spain there are malls, like centers where you can buy everything, that have siesta stations.
Well,
if
I
you go
think
to
that's a little bit too much, you know. But
no, but like if you go to a mall, big shopping mall, for example, that
okay.
there are places there where you can go and have a siesta.
Well, not in my city. Okay.
Not in your city, okay.
In my city, it's not like this, you know. We prefer
Okay.
still going to house, you know.
Okay,
But
yeah,
anyway,
makes sense.
jokes aside, now for the location, when you go to select, because I don't know how much you explain about Nomad, because for me Nomad is one of the hardest map. Or you think the lag is really a factor to take in consideration in this map?
I think the changes we made for this Nomad map helped a lot. It's probably not easy to notice when you're watching, obviously, but what we did to this map was pretty much make sure that no villager can spawn next to the water, and that also helped with keeping the distance between the 3 villagers roughly the same for both players, and then also no villager spawning next to the water. Like you could have a Persian player spawn with 1 villager on the shoreline, right? Then you just drop a dock, drop a house, and you're good to go. While the other player spawns super awkwardly and like far away from the water, and that is one of the things that it makes Nomad really unfair, because then a Persian player gets such an insane start. So yeah, what we did was force a minimum distance between villagers and water, and try to make the villager distance for both players the same. So I think this Nomad is probably the best possible way to make Nomad fair that we have seen so far. But historically, Nomad has been a very luck-based map.
Yeah, I mean, I remember maps back in the days also with all the gold in the north, and then in the south nothing, and maybe one to a stone. I mean, stuff like this, and that was terrible, obviously. But anyway, we see how he's doing the loom. When you are doing the loom, you usually want to go up. No, so I don't know why he did the loom. Maybe it's, if he's gonna send somebody and gonna get some build war, don't want to, because you want to avoid the loom as much as possible, I believe. But he did already, minor detail. And,
well, he was missing the second building. That's kind of why he couldn't click up right away. So he had to finish the lumber camp before he could click. So yeah, it made sense to make another villager. But yeah, TaToH is already up. Yo is still a little bit away, but will surely follow soon. The question though is, has TaToH seen any indicator of where? I mean, he has a sheep scouting to the left side. Right? If you check TaToH's point of view, you can see that he lost a sheep on the left side. So he might know that Yo has a dock there, and TaToH has a villager there himself, which might make a second dock for him. TaToH also has a village on the north or right side rather. So looks to me like TaToH is gonna go heavy on water. He just has to figure out exactly where to commit first.
3 docks, and then maybe one on the left, probably, and the other. Yeah, there you go. There is one on at 3 o'clock. He's doing the dock, and probably he's gonna make another at 9 o'clock. Oh my god! Oh, he can see the village now, Mr.Yo as well. But no loom, no loom. Let's see if TaToH is gonna see it. TaToH, TaToH. Okay, you see.
He should wall it in, then fight, because he doesn't have loom. Wall it in. Yo spots it. Too bad.
Well, that would be too much.
Yo still hasn't clicked up. He has a lot of food in the bank now, and finally moving to gold, doing loom, building a mill as well. Looks to me like Yo wants to go straight for the fast castle. He's also walled off the whole map pretty much at this point. So TaToH will have to make sure he takes the advantage of water here, because Yo gonna go straight to Castle Edge and go straight for Conquistadors, and that is always so hard to stop.
But even if he, for example, take the water, seriously, he might be in a decent time to cancel it, because you will get good economy. You don't stop the conks if you are 2-3 minutes behind. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, that's the issue as well. Yo could even commit on like a 4 castle. But if you look at Yo's scouting, he will know as well where TaToH is, because he sees the house of TaToH there. So like Yo could send 10 villagers, because there is no army from TaToH on the map, right? So you could send 10 villagers, drop a castle on his face, and that's so hard to deal with. But yeah, we see the third dock now for TaToH, and yeah, I think what TaToH should do is pretty much make 2 fire ships and then start fish booming like a madman.
Okay, well, this is what he's doing. You can see now the third dock as well. Stonewalled. TaToH know what's happening. I mean, TaToH know what is coming. He read the game really well. You can see how he's gonna make the stone wall probably all over the map on the right side. Also, after that house, probably he's gonna make even stone walls as well. Well, he will need a stone wall, but honestly, if you check, Viper, not really bad map for make the stone walls. Except the left, he's gonna wall it now.
Indeed, and if he's lucky, Yo makes a defensive castle. Like, stone walls don't help if the castle is on top of the stone walls, then it goes down anyway. So if Yo makes a defensive castle here, I think that's a very good situation for TaToH. But I think TaToH made too many fire ships still. He has started fish booming now, but he didn't need 4 or 5 guys to deal with this. So I think that's a bit of a mistake from TaToH. But yeah, he finds the fishing ships now, so that's going to hurt Yo's economy a little bit. But then again, Yo has fished enough to the point where he can go to the castle edge easily. And TaToH will just now have to figure out how he's going to respond.
Viper, one question here. Why the pros always move? He has 6 fishing ships and he has only 1 fire galley. Why do you move all the fishing ships? Why you don't move the one that is being attacked and then the others can still fish? Like, it happens most of the times. Obviously not to everyone. But you see, I mean, he's moving 5 and there's only 1 galley.
Yeah. Well, Yo wanted to move everything to the corner, and TaToH might have like passed him without finding them, and then he could start fishing again, right? That's probably what Yo was trying to do. But yeah, we have Yo on the way to Castle Edge, 2 minutes away now. And Yo also has 8 cows gathered. He has found 8 cows. That's a lot of food, and he's still taking boar, has deer nearby as well. So even losing this fish, Yo is still gonna probably have a very healthy food economy. But yeah, so TaToH has some houses on the front which are still quite weak. That he might have to consider walling behind them as well. But yeah, question still remains: what is TaToH actually going to do to deal with the conks? Does he go monks? Does he go crossbow, skirm, camel? You will have to find out. I like what Yo is doing as well. Sneaky dock right next to the dock that he just got out of TaToH, so he can make some fire galleys as well to attack TaToH's fish, and he can start to fish himself with whatever he has left.
Very nice. Also, we have to remind to the viewers that one petard, Viper, if he's still in feudal age, he break the walls. So the walls, the stone walls are nice, but they're still in feudal age. They are much weaker. So the aggression can be real. It doesn't feel like Mr.Yo is gonna go forward. He probably should have sent villages already. No. Okay, he's gonna send it now. He's sending 4 villages, but yeah, go.
I think he'll build it at the wall where his villager is at, right? I think like sending 4 villagers and build it on the outside. That would be too YOLOs. I think we'll delete 2 palisades and build the castle pretty much in that spot. He's doing war galley first. 4 idle villagers now. Okay, he goes out a little bit. Okay, this is so greedy by Yo. He has 4 villagers and he's gonna go for a forward castle drop with 4 villagers.
Yeah,
that is
it's
mind-boggling.
Yeah.
This is just so risky.
Well, he trusts in the Spanish, you know. I mean, we were talking. He trusts in the Spanish power, but I don't know if 4 villages, even with the Spanish bonus, is kinda too much because he can also. The problem is he has no stone. Even buying 100 stone, TaToH cannot make a tower, so he will need to buy 200. The castle is gonna be on his face, but as you say, imagine that castle is denied. But what is he doing? He has no. Well, he
doesn't have the stone, right?
What? Okay, he's doing now.
He was prioritizing fire ships before, so he had to upgrade the fire ships, and he's killing some fish at TaToH now, forcing some fish to run, and now the castle comes up. And I mean, imagine if TaToH just had a stable and made like 3-4 scouts first to make sure he cannot get forward castle dropped, and then transition to castle stage. His castle time wouldn't have been that much slower, and he would have potentially killed all the villagers.
Anyway,
this is gonna be so hard though.
Yeah, he's gonna be difficult, but now what is the next step for TaToH? He doesn't have a barrack, so he need to make double monastery maybe?
Yeah, very likely that's gonna be the approach, and he also bought 100 stone, so that's either for... It's very likely just to drop a secondary town center. The issue for TaToH is that behind the stone walls, he only has 1 gold and 1 stone. So in time, he will have to transition no matter what.
Yeah, can siege or sub right away. Like you said, he has a corner that is really big in theory, but resources not that much at all. Obviously, TaToH is doing the monastery right away. He's gonna make a second one probably as soon as he can. I don't know. He's doing guild nets. He's doing war galley upgrade. War galley upgrade is always needed in case that Mr.Yo is like he's doing now, taking the fish. But now he's gonna save that fish. Otherwise, he will be very, very bad with the economy. He's gonna make mangonels. A couple of mangonels there, maybe even a ram when you are in this kind of situation. University. He's gonna go towers?
And what tower? Possible. That's a TaToH thing to do for sure. Yeah, he's doing 1 watchtower already. And he's expecting the magma pressure, obviously. And guard towers deal very nicely with that, so I really like this move. TaToH has the garrison, loses 1 villager, but that is alright. But yeah, TaToH will end up having to do multiple towers here to defend every angle. Fletching coming in as well. And the thing is, he needs to also make sure he gets to use his fish boom as soon as possible. And he is doing so. Even Yo is actually fishing as much as TaToH is right now, almost. So he will have to make sure he gets the water that he invested so much to take. And the issue I see right now is that Yo He's gonna stay one town center, and Yo is preparing already stone towards the second castle.
Second
That
castle.
can be so hard to stop.
Nah. Well, it's the right play, and he has done this many times. He's probably the best play with the Kongs in this situation. Even more when you can feel, or he can feel that TaToH is corner. Like if he's doing another castle there, TaToH need to go away from that area as soon as possible because he won't have any resources to collect.
Yeah, but I really like that TaToH has done guard tower now, and bot Conqueror is gonna come soon as well. And TaToH has started adding more fishing ship as well. So if he gets up to like 12, 13, 14, 15 fishing ships, his economy is going to be amazing. And with guard towers, I don't think Yo can push this in the castle age unless he drops another castle.
Yeah, but it's a smell a castle exactly where the mango is right now. And when he break there and he go in and see that there is the goal, most likely he will do it there. But right now it's nice for TaToH because his opponent cannot see the goal. But now he's going in with the Kongs. The Kongs are going there. Yeah, he gather all those villages in the tower. There's few monks, and that's the next step, I believe. No, he's doing a town center. So right now he's doing some economy. Do you agree with that, or do you think that will be better to go right away for the castle?
I think the issue for Yo with going for economy now is that I think TaToH will go to Imperial Age. I think TaToH will take stone, drop his own castle potentially, and then just go in. But there we go, TaToH dropping a TC as well, so I was wrong. He will have to do another tower though on the left side, maybe even 2 towers to secure that area, because those walls will not last very long when there's Mega Mills and Kongs on top. And I still want TaToH to make more fishing ship, and he is doing that. 30 from Yo as well, so Yo is really trying to switch to economy now.
Do you think redemption is optional here? Because it's a way to stop those mangonels. Of course, you have to micro so well because he has a lot of Kongs, but he don't want to get inside. I mean, he's doing another tower, as you can see, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think redemption is worth it because it's so there's not guaranteed conversions, right? So and it's almost 500 gold for redemption. You rather want to spend that gold on maybe going to the Imperial Age if to regain some map control. I mean, that's the biggest difficult thing for TaToH right now, that he doesn't have map control and he only has 1 gold mine. So when he's doing bot Conqueror now, and if he can get that fish boom going a little bit more heavy, then he can start thinking about the Imperial Age. And I feel like that's TaToH's best winning chance here to try and deal with this.
Well, with those towers and ballistic, Mr.Yo can't do anything anymore. Like, nothing.
Yeah, indeed, very nice response from TaToH, but at the same time, TaToH has to be careful here. Ooh, gets just in the tower. But TaToH needs to find a way to regain map control, and that's the key thing for TaToH right now. I think he has enough towers to be safe, so for him he needs to think about what's the next step. And he's making another fire galley. I'm not sure why he's making more fire galleys.
Castle coming, Viper, I think. Sorry that I interrupt you, but those four villages were coming scared, but no, he's taking out the deers. But like you said, he need to go outside. Like the Kongs are now in, again, he's trying to raid, maybe he's gonna take some fishing ships. If he's not going outside soon, I wouldn't be surprised that Mr.Yo is walling even TaToH in.
Yeah, I don't think walling him in will work though, because TaToH can always drop his own castle soon, right? He has 200 or 300 stone in the back. Oh, Yo picking up 1 monk. He might lose some Kongs in return though, because there's ballistics on both the towers and the town center. But yeah, those Kongs are so tanky as well at the same time, so... yeah, but TaToH's building up stone. He'll drop his own castle. The question is just where, and I still feel like TaToH's best way of winning is to go for a fast Imperial Age and try to take like map control and then find the right army from there.
Okay, let's see if he will... Well, he has 24 on food, which is quite a lot, even more when you are not really doing units, right, Viper? He's just doing villages, he's not doing anything else for now, so you can reach Imperial in a decent time, in a good time. He has 400 gold as well. I don't know where he's gonna make the castle, Mr.Yo. He's taking too much to make the castle, 800 stone, or maybe he want to balance the economy and go to Imperial himself, I don't know, but he's getting a lot of stone already, and not dropping a castle.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't see where a castle drop would make sense. So obviously he can drop the castle where the cookie stores are now, but he might also think that TaToH could do a fast imp and just take out those castles with trebuchets in that case. But yeah, we see 5 Wheels come forward and he's going for the castle on the gold of TaToH. But look at TaToH's resources. He's getting ready for the fast imp, and he almost has stone for a castle as well. I do like the situation of TaToH here.
Well, you have to, because he's also 8 villages ahead. This is not the typical situation, right, Viper, that you go, okay, he's super fast to win, but you have 50 villages, your opponent is 18. No, it's just the opposite here. He still have also more economy. And then we have to remind the viewers, University from Malians, super fast. You can go chemistry, bombard cannons, and boom, boom, boom.
Indeed.
Oh boy,
I think
look at
he
those
will.
economy.
Yeah, I think TaToH will have to, like, he dropped the barracks in a range now, so range seems to be the approach. Does he not have a second building? Oh, no, he has. Yeah, he's on the way to Imperial Age, and he's almost ready to drop his own castle. The question is, where will he drop his castle? I personally think he should drop the castle in front of his base, where he built the tower, so on the right side. But I think he's gonna go for the hill, just to be safe. Yeah, it's a safe castle, but I think he could have been more adventurous. But of course, it is safe, and looks like skirmishers is going to be his way of defending this. So Trebuchet skirmisher opening, by the looks of it.
Well, I don't know, but then now, what is Mr.Yo going to do? Because Mr.Yo can save resources to go up to Imp, or he will have to commit and make maybe, I don't know, many stables and go light cast knights to try to take the Imperial army already for TaToH. The bad thing for TaToH is that they don't have Dresser, they don't have the +3 for Malian, so maybe it can be okay that castle. What do you think, Viper? What is the approach for Mr.Yo for now?
Well, first off, Yo is diving in with his conquistadors. There's not too much for him to do though, as there aren't too many villagers on the right side, but still he was diving in, and there should be 5 conks that TaToH should be able to clean up as soon as he wants to. Yo added a 4th thesis, so he's definitely still on the booming track, and Imperial Age will be quite a while away from him still. Yeah, maybe dropping a couple of stables and just committing on the castle age play with like light cav and conquistadors could be an option, but very likely Yo will lose his 2 castles, and the issue for Yo is that he has 3 town centers in the center of the map, where TaToH will continue his push, and TaToH even sneaking a town center on the left side. I like that.
I mean, those 3 town centers, he can be with 1 TC push soon, Mr.Yo, because he should have done those town centers far from the action. Probably he's not expecting that now he's gonna be Imperial Age, but we will see. Military army also for Mr.Yo, only 6. 3 conks, 1 bomb, now 4, and the run. So, this situation is really, really nice for your teammate, Viper, because, I don't know, can be for a 2-0 against Mr.Yo in the semifinal and try to come back from a 2-0.
Yeah, but TaToH has to make these minutes count though, because even though he has a healthy economy, he's still actually, even though it says that he's only 9 villagers behind, he's actually 30 villagers behind. The only reason he's close is because he has 17 fishing ships, and the fishing ships get less effective as the game goes on. So TaToH will really have to make these next few minutes count in order to make sure he regains the map control and puts the pressure. And Yo even adding a 5th town center here, and Yo is not too far away from picking up the Imperial Age as well.
The TC at the back, Viper, he found it. He found it, the TC. Oh my god. And why how many billions of gold he has now, TaToH, Viper?
That's not a big issue for him though. He will take that gold income back when he takes out the castle, right? So the gold will come, he knows that, but the thing is, TaToH will have to find a way to regain map control, and Yo is on the way to Imp, and Yo will have a better land economy, and he will have a better transition. What seemed like probably looks healthy for TaToH probably is not as healthy as we may have thought. The fishing economy gets worse exponentially as the game goes on. Land economy gets better exponentially as the game goes on. And Yo has a very, very, very healthy land economy.
Yeah, but that economy, as you say, it can go down. Now he's attacking town center in the south with the skirmishes. He needs to go with the traps. He will probably make some pikes right now. I don't know. His spear, well, he's doing the pike one upgrade now. And what army Mr.Yo is going to do? The score is kinda scary, but do you think that that's the real difference in the game? Well, Mr.Yo has no army at all, 4 military.
Yeah, right now Yo is not committing. He's making a second safe castle now in his base with just 1 villager. Yeah, we haven't seen this commit. Like, he has to commit on a army type soon. He's doing cavalry armor upgrade, so paladin maybe is what Yo is thinking about here. But TaToH is already making the pikeman switch, and TaToH and also Malians have fantastic camels with Farimba. So if TaToH can get on top of gold, he will have some decent transitions to make here. But again, he just has to make these next 2 minutes do a lot for him. Second castle about to go down for Yo, and then TaToH can start working on the economy. And how many farms does Yo have? Yo has 20 farms in the middle of the map, and that could all disappear very soon.
Yeah, a lot in total 52. Those farmers are almost, yeah, in the middle of the map. Oof, a lot of farms, as you say, 20 farmers. And where he's gonna make? He has a stone to make another castle. He should make the castle there, in between those two town centers, to gain time at least, because you don't want to lose all this economy. But then, you can also lose that castle if you make there. No, he's doing at the back. He's doing at the back the castle. He knows that he need to move all that economy. He's going back to 9 o'clock to make a lumber camp, but he's gonna beat TaToH as well, so he's gonna find it. He's doing chemistry right away. Probably he want to put some bombard cannons there to stop the trebuchet. And how many knights he will need? Well, cavaliers to stop these pikes. For TaToH is 21 with the +4 incoming. He will need quite a lot of army, Mr.Yo, Viper, to stop this pike and trebuchet from TaToH.
Yeah, and Yo currently is just making light cav upgrade. Of course, he's doing chemistry. That could be for bomb cannons, could be for hand cannons even as well. But for now, he's just switching into light cav, and he just lost a sizable portion of his farming economy. TaToH with a really healthy population as well. 40 population ahead now. A lot of that is on water, but still, population is population. And yeah, TaToH's looking very, very healthy.
Yeah, and also those hand cannoneers and are not gonna be super strong, I believe, because well, +7 armor for those spikes. They might hold. 2 town centers down. Now a castle on the other TC, trying to recover all the map and doing effectively Mr. TaToH with 63 military. Yes, he's not Paladins, he's not Farimba camels, but 28 pikes, 19 skirmishes, trebuchet, bombard cannons on the way. Here, the problem for Mr.Yo is the time. He doesn't have time to mass army, Viper.
Yeah. I have to point out as well, TaToH's doing a fantastic job. He knows as well the fish will get worse, and he's made over 20, he's made 24 farms himself now, so even though the fish is getting worse, he's also preparing for the land switch on economy, and TaToH is taking complete center control now. There's a lot of resources there, there's gold on the right as well, and suddenly we have to look at this and think, where's Yo gonna get gold?
Yeah, now he will be the one who has no gold. Well, look at those pikes. He's still also... he can't kill the pikes. There is the castle and they're still trying to repair. Pikes and skirmishes raiding again Mr.Yo. Mr.Yo is now migration mode activated, Viper, for the last 10 minutes. And he can't really do anything at all. TaToH is playing an amazing game. And this is a game for TaToH to lose, not for Mr.Yo to win anymore.
Very much so, and TaToH as well, sneaky guard tower on the top side, really like that, and yeah, he's just forcing, I mean, the map is nomad, right, so it makes sense that Yo is playing the nomadic style, but yeah, Yo just has to react so much now. He's making the hand cannons as we predicted, but TaToH has already a healthy amount of skirmishes that can deal with these low amounts of hand cannons, and with the pressure on the left side as well, TaToH's still very healthy population, while Yo is trying his best to react. Yo trying to get some light cav raids going now, but doesn't look like the numbers are there for Yo yet, so TaToH still has really strong position, but he has no siege on the left side, so he's kind of losing his whole arm there. Look at the pikeman trying to kill the bomb cannon, but it's taking forever. Okay, he gets it in the end, but yeah, TaToH has to be careful that he doesn't give up too much military for free.
Yeah, and now he lost quite a lot on the left. Remember that Mr.Yo is still on similar amount of villagers. The economy obviously is at the limit for Yo, but TaToH is doing, he's gonna go Arbalest now. He's doing crossbow, Thumbrian. He seems to be going for Arbalest with Malians, that they are okay, but there's skirmishes as well. Is he still Mr.Yo here with chances to come back in this game? I think so, because he's now recovering on the left. TC, he has the trap, he has the castle, and Mr.Yo is now massing more army, Viper, so maybe Yo is able to make the comeback now.
Yeah, Spanish is also one of the best civs in the game without gold. All the blacksmith upgrades don't cost gold at all, actually, and you also have fully upgraded skirmishers, halberdiers, and hussar, and you have siege ram. So Spanish is a really strong late game 1-1 civilization. So TaToH again, you might feel like he has to keep going and keep putting on the pressure while Yo has been pushed back. He's doing a good job. So Yo still struggling a bit with the food economy, and TaToH also making a longsword transition here by the looks of it. I do like the Arbalest play because the only thing you're missing is Bracer, which is a massive upgrade, but the Arbalest will still do a good job dealing with, for example, Hankiners or cavalry units. And yeah, even the champion switch could be massive here, because that one will counter a lot of what Yo is doing.
But he's microing now so well. The Viper, he's microing so well against the siege from from TaToH. You need to go back a little bit. A lot of farming now for Mr.Yo. A lot of farming. Obviously, the championship is going to be great. Those light cats are going to try to kill all those skirmishes. And with those skirmishes, we'll take the pikes. The game is getting in a moment that maybe... Look at the score. It was like almost 3,000 score behind. And now it's getting closer and closer. Mr.Yo is coming back from the hell, Mr. Viper. And the champions, how much is going to help those champions now?
Well, with the hand cannons there, the champions won't be as good as they could have been. What I think TaToH's misplay here was that he was spreading his army too much, right? He should have kept his whole army at one point. Maybe like push everything on the left side, get rid of that castle, take that golden stone on the left side, and start pushing from there. What he did was he spread his siege on the right side, half of his army on the left side, half the army on the right side, and that gave Yo the time to stabilize. And Yo now reaching a very healthy population. Populations are almost the same, and TaToH still has so many fishing ships out on the map that are not that efficient, and desperately trying to recover military numbers again. He's going to lose production buildings and start getting raided as well. This game just flipped on its head, just like that.
Yeah. And Mr.Yo, Viper is a player that you cannot give him a second to breathe because he never give up. I mean, he just never give up. If you give him a moment, he take it.
Indeed. TaToH is doing every technology here, by the way. He's also doing Farimba now. He's doing 200 swordsmen, so his economy is definitely fantastic. Yo coming forward with a castle now as well. But TaToH, I don't see any stables at all. I'm not sure what the Farimba tech was about. At Bomber Cannon of Yo on the left side is microing well as well. And I feel like Yo is just taking slow and steady advantage on every angle of the map at the moment.
Yeah, but I'm checking the farmers. And in farmers, in real farmers, he has like 30 farmers. In my opinion, 30 farmers, if Mr.Yo is still going with the food economy he has and keep pushing, I don't know what you think. It's probably not going to be an oath for TaToH to spam everything he needs now to counter. And Mr.Yo is getting there. He's getting closer and closer to the score. It's going to be a switch very soon. So probably he needs more farms because, as you said, if you check the fishing ships, look at the long path they have to drop. They are not with the fish traps. And I know the castle. It's crazy how he's coming back in this game, Mr.Yo. Because yeah, he was wasting some army on the left TaToH, but he was trying to keep up active, you know, and Mr.Yo is there already with more population than TaToH.
Yeah, I think TaToH is, again, the fishing ships are also, they're fishing short fish now. It's like 10 fishing ships on the same short fish. That obviously is incredibly ineffective. Now there are 2 traps ready for TaToH, already hitting the new castle coming up from Yo, so there's a chance he takes that down, but Yo now with the score lead. And TaToH is struggling to find the right composition to play the late game. I feel like TaToH, he did a really nice job in early Imperial Age to utilize his time window. But after the open Imperial Age, the opening, I feel like he just kind of spread out too much. Probably felt like he had the game won. And suddenly everything just fell apart. And now the game is still very close. They have the same population. Don't get me wrong. It's just that Spanish are so much easier to play, such a natural army composition to while Malians tend to get very, very awkward in the later phases of this game.
Yeah, it's like Malians are really good in castle. They have very good units for Imperial, but they don't have the best units in anything, right? They are missing something in all, right?
Yeah.
And while Spanish, you can make Hussars, you can go halves, you can go skirmishes fully upgraded, 6 rams, bomber cannons. Well, they pretty much have everything for the late game.
Indeed, another great castle by Yo in the center. Recovering more stone, recovering more gold. And yeah. TaToH is adding some stables now, starting some light cavalry himself. But yeah, TaToH really needs to realize that the fishing economy is not... Like, TaToH might look at his game and he sees up, oh, he has 52 on food. It's not gonna feel like he has 52 on food, because those fishing ships are just so inefficient.
And it's like 20 more or less. I mean, well, 22 actually, Viper. 22, that's a lot. Yeah, I mean, it was fish trap with Malay, right? It's different, but like this is complicated. But you can see he's trying to push in front. If now Mr.Yo, and he's doing, is adding more trebuchet and now stables, then it's gonna be almost impossible. Hussars fully upgraded, Viper. Hussar fully upgraded. So, bomber cannons, Hussar fully upgraded. Then skirmish is also fully upgraded as well. And almost impossible now to stop this. It looks. But we were telling the same. We were talking even for the 2-0. I think I said that, and Mr.Yo listened and said, no, it's not gonna be the 2-0. And he's coming there. And now it's incredible how he has both players almost 200 pop, but I don't see how TaToH can now push this back.
Yeah, the issue is finding the right composition, right? Because Yo has Hankinger, Skirmishers, Hussar. There's no Halberdiers yet, but Yo is coming for another castle in the face of TaToH, and TaToH still doesn't have the answer to stop that. So that castle will go up, and that's on 2 town centers of TaToH and on the gold income, the only gold income TaToH
Wow.
has right now. So Yo looks like he wants to finish the game here and now. And TaToH, even though he has maxed out, he has less military because he also has more economy units. And keep in mind, TaToH also has 9 ships on the water still. That's 9 ships that are not active and contributing to the game anymore.
Yeah. Also, we see how Mr.Yo got 2 relics, so even in that regard, he's a little bit ahead, hitting goal as well. He only have 2 trebuchet alive, TaToH, the Viper, and well, if he's sending those Khazars, he's gonna take everything. The amount of farming now for Mr.Yo is insane. 27 Khazars, 27 hand cannon. He is perfect composition, Viper.
Indeed, and he is now running in with the Hussar on top of the skirms and the Hussar. And this just seems like an army that TaToH can never defeat. And I think TaToH will realize that this is not his game anymore. It was looking great for a long time for him. His reaction to the conquistadors was fantastic. The fast imp was the right choice. But I feel like after the early imp, he made steps in the wrong direction. And Yo, the great player Yo is, didn't let that chance go away for him to recover the ground and take back the game.
Wow.
It was a very nice game. Very nice game.
Well, it was great actually. I mean, it was crazy back and forth. Maybe more trebuchet in the early game, like you said, just focus in one spot and try to push completely because it looked like he was trying to push back all the map at the same time, and maybe that wasn't needed.
So I'm going to use the timeline here to go back and show where I think was the where TaToH went wrong. Um, so if we look at roughly, let's say 42 minutes, I'm not sure. I assume you have Capture Pro as well.
Yeah, I'm
And you
there.
can go back.
I'm the same that you. Don't worry.
So
Let's go.
42-14 is what I'm looking right now. And if we look at the current situation, TaToH has 2 trebuchets on the right side. He has 2 bomber cannons on the right side. And they're accompanied by 6 pikemen and 5 skirms. On the left side, TaToH has 17 skirmishers and how many pikemen? 16 pikemen. Now, this is a half army on the right side, half army on the left side. And the important area for TaToH to push or get rid of is the left side because there's a castle there, there's siege there, there's golden stone, and a lot of economy of Mr.Yo. TaToH siege is for some reason pushing on the right side where there's not really that much to take. There's a castle in the distance, there's some archery ranges, but accompanied by this small army, that doesn't really accomplish anything. So in this case, I think TaToH should have sent the trebuchets and the bomber cannons to the left side, join in with the big force, take out the castle, and take that position. And that would have also made Yo have to transition so much economy. Probably like 40 villagers would have to move. And Yo's transition to the army game in late, like as the game went on, to add more military numbers would have been also way slower. So I think that was this was the main mistake TaToH made in the early Imperial Age here.
The problem is that if you check, his economy wasn't like, I mean, he was still have some resources, no, but yeah, it's so difficult, right? Because he was kind of at the limit. There was a point that he didn't have any gold, right? So he was feeling that, okay, I'm recovering that one. But yeah, it was looking great, like 180 population for, and Mr.Yo almost no army.
Yeah,
it's so difficult.
That's the thing.
Right?
What you can do in these cases when the other guy doesn't have army is he cannot deny your siege, and that's the big thing. That means you can take out whatever you want as long as you have the army to back up your own siege and the tech advantage. And yeah, this was the time window where TaToH could still win the game. I feel like this is where he went wrong because he also lost all those units on the left side for taking out the bomber cannon and a few villagers. It was definitely not worth it, and that's kind of where it turned around and where Yo was able to come back.
No, Mr.Yo home map now. Home map for TaToH. Arena. Why I love with Arena. I was checking your stream yesterday, and then I think you pick Arena, and he smiled. Why do you think he hate so much Arena? I felt that he didn't even try 100%. Well, did you have that feeling like it was really over when he resigned? Like he just tried one attack and then he gave up.
No, it was like he went for that strategy, right? He went to heavy fight for the middle, and then he wanted to go for the fast imp and just push me and kill me. But I stopped his push in the tracks, right? So it was definitely over. So it was a good time for him to resign. If I was like 1 minute later to Imperial Age than I was, his push could have definitely worked. So he was going for a specific strategy, and it did not work from him in the end, obviously. But it is something you see a lot with Malay on or Arena, where you go for that faster imp, get the relics, faster imp, and try to push and kill. But yeah, Britain's is also a very good civ there. So
You say that Malay for you is the number one in Arena?
yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. But people was telling in late game, there's no way Malay can beat Britons. Do you agree with that?
No.
Can you explain what you can do with Malay then to make Malay work against Britons in late game?
Just make units and fight.
Not what he did, right? Not resign.
No, but like, okay, so let's imagine, okay, we're playing Arena. Malay should have relic advantage. 3 relics, maybe 4 relics, and then you transition to Imp. It's not like Britain's composition is so much stronger that Malay cannot do anything to kill units. So you just trade off army, and in the late game, you have 200 swordsmen that don't cost gold. You have full upgrade skirmishers, fully upgrade arbalest. You have bomber cannons. You have halberdiers. Why can you not fight Britons with that?
Yeah, but Marcanos with siege engineer.
Yep.
So yeah. Okay. So I don't know what is gonna be the next map. I'm refreshing, but I don't see yet the map.
Gold Rush.
It's Gold Rush. Okay.
Yes.
You know already.
Yes, I know already.
Okay.
Because Krajini posted it.
Okay. I didn't see that. Was it? Okay, let me check as well. Gold Rush. So for Gold Rush, what is your guess it is going to be? The civilization.
So TaToH civs, like TaToH had Aztecs, Vikings, and Mayans. I think all those 3 civs could have been played in Arena. No, not Arena. Arabia and Gold Rush. So it should be either Aztecs or Vikings. I think Burgundians is for Arena. I think Teutons is for Land Madness. It could potentially be Aztecs even for Land Madness. But yeah, I think Aztecs or Vikings is what TaToH will go for here. Yo, on the other hand, he used Khmer against the Max on their Gold Rush game. So I reckon Khmer is probably what Yo will go for here. But then again, we know Yo loves his Mesosivs and he has Incas there. So you never know if he will sneak in Incas. But only time will tell.
Since there's one civilization extra, maybe Incas or some civs can be working for the players to, like mind game to make the opponent think twice.
Yeah, for sure. But we all know Yo doesn't mind picking Incas. Like he picked it. If we think about Arabia Invitational, for example, he picked Incas on Arabia there a couple of times. So he's used it a couple of times in Red Bull. So Yo probably thinks Incas are better than a lot of other people do. But then again, Incas have had a little bit of a nerf recently with the upgrades not applying on villagers in the feudal age. So, but yeah, Yo still feels good with them apparently. And but whether he will use them in this match, I'm not so sure.
Also, most of the games in Gold Rush has become pretty much a fast castle. So the Incas transition, always the Meso, the Eagle transition civilization are always really, really dangerous.
It has to do with the map, the way this Gold Rush version is, it can spawn quite far, and then there's a big space in the center, and that kind of goes against feudal age aggression. So fast castle strategies makes a lot of sense. I actually didn't first initially know that this was the Gold Rush version we went for, but yeah, I still think this one is fine. It's a little bit more fair, I think, but it does encourage kind of fast castle and walling, so it's a bit of a shame. But either way, man, I'm going to take a quick break here, just like a minute, and I'll be back.
Okay. Okay, guys, how you doing? How you are enjoying the casting? We're still here, and how do you enjoy the casting? Is good or not, amigos? Is good or not? My friends, are you enjoying the casting with Mr.Viper? Hopefully you enjoy a little bit. Love it. It's perfect quality. Obviously, I'm adapting. You know, I'm adapting. It's his tournament, and you can see how I'm chilling a little bit more than always. Also, there's another semifinal. I'm gonna be with Supi in the next semifinal. You know, and then in the grand final, I don't know with who I'm going to be. You know. But the previous game, I really thought that it was going to be over. You know, oh, Gold Rush is already there. Okay.
All right, ma'am. So I'm gonna be right back quickly. You can, if you would be so kind, you can unmute and just cast already to my audience as well. I am showing the whole map with capture, so go ham. I'll be right back.
Okay, let's go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, guys, we are watching Teutons versus Incas. Teutons on Gold Rush. Well, it's something that we were talking. As you could see how we were talking with TheViper about the guessing, and definitely we didn't expect Teutons here. Then Incas was something that we could see this coming, but Teutons here. Teutons, that is one of the best civilizations for Arena. It can be also really great for Land Madness, but definitely not what we expected. TaToH is as a red with Teutons in the south. You can see how his map is incredibly easy to wall. Oh my god, the eagle for Yo! If he's losing the eagle in minute 2, it's gonna be definitely a disaster. Definitely a disaster. Anyway, this game is so important, guys. This game is so important because who is taking the lead now is gonna be with match point already. Then he's gonna put the pressure completely to the other. Definitely to the other. Anyway, if we check blue map, I don't know if people in Viper channel can see because it might be a little bit farther, but Mr.Yo has a map that I dislike a lot. Why? Because he will have to wall too far to get the goal. Look at the goal for Mr.Yo on the left. Super far. Obviously, he can wall that area and he will have to wall because the other one is super far as well. Obviously, he's, yeah, well, with the woodland there, it's gonna be probably safe, but it's still okay. If we check the map, like Viper was telling, yeah, they are super far from each other. I wouldn't be surprised that he's used Link for fast castle, and honestly, Teutons, well, they have one of the strongest knights in the game. Why? They get melee armor extra, so they might work properly. Also, we'll know the monk bonus. If he's coming with towers, Teuton's towers obviously gonna dominate because you can garrison 10 villages. It's kinda difficult. Anyway, let's see what they are going to do. You can see how you're back.
Yeah. Yes.
Teutons, Viper. I was talking about that choice. Teutons on Gold Rush. Yeah, I was like, yeah, we don't play the lottery today, Viper. Okay.
Yeah. Then I'm starting to think Aztecs might be for Land Madness.
Arena.
Even. No. Land Madness.
And what
Arena
play?
should be
Arena is
Burgundians.
Burgundians. Okay.
I think so.
Yep.
TaToH is weird, man. What can I say?
Yeah, Spanish people is weird, you know. I mean,
you know what? Okay, never
what
mind.
it is.
I know what is up here. So TaToH was expecting Khmer from Yo. And Teutons is, generally speaking, a decent counter to Khmer, because Khmer don't have Bomberkin anymore. And then if you get Teutons, then you go like Halberdier, Onager, and things like that. Teutons is very good for center control. You have bomber cannons, you have Halberdier, Onager, and Khmer would struggle against that. So I feel like that is what happened here. TaToH wanted to counter the Khmer, but you know what? I think Teutons is a great counter to Incas as well. So I don't think it's too bad.
I think so. Well, when you joined it, I was talking like, what Teuton have? Really good knights. They have the monks. Defensive civilization is amazing. They have the towers. I mean, what Teutons don't have actually to counter?
Yeah.
And the infantry
as well.
The infantry is amazing.
Yep.
So,
and
well,
I think if TaToH just gets to late game where he can play champion Onager, it's really hard for Incas to find a counter to that.
Do you think really that, I mean, in Gold Rush we don't see super late games. Like, you know what I mean? Like super crazy castle aggression because people want to take the middle. So action needs to happen.
Map is actually heavily favored for TaToH if you look at the middle. If you look where the gold has spawned in the center, there is no gold on Yo's plateau, kind of, on his side. But TaToH could even TC 2 golds on his own plateau towards him. So that is heavily in favor of TaToH, considering the middle. The other maps, otherwise, their maps are obviously quite simple, and it's easy to wall this gold rush. So, yeah, it looks like both players are just thinking about cast stage here.
Yeah, and if Mr.Yo was exploring a little bit better on the right side, look at the walls he could have done to take another goal inside as well, and even the stone, without making this huge palisade he did close to the berries. You know, small palisade between those forests where the Lambercarn is at the stone and the other. Then you can even take the goal. Of course, you have to go a little bit farther, but he didn't explore that area. That happens a lot, but TaToH has walled the whole map on his base.
Yep. Yeah, we're going to
efficient.
see both of them go to the cast stage. Question is, what do they do there? For TaToH, it's quite natural. You drop a stable, and you play kind of arena style, right? You drop one stable, maybe monastery, try to get some relics, maybe just keep some map control, get some knights on the field. But for Incas, it's like, if you commit on something, you have to commit quite heavily. And you see no signs of what he's doing yet. He's going for gold now. Eagle Warriors kind of makes sense, but then again, do you want to play Eagles against Teuton Knights? I don't really think so.
No.
So it's a bit awkward here for Incas, I would say.
Maybe he's gonna go range units. Honestly,
Yeah, I mean it's an option, right? But then again, okay, you commit to crossbows. TaToH just makes some knights with mangonels, and he's fine, right? It's a bit awkward for Incas, no matter what kind of. Because Teuton also has an amazing economy behind it with the cheaper farms.
really cheap. Wow. Well, he has 3 villages on gold already. 3 villages on gold as well. The build order, we can see how these 2 lumber camps for both players. No, that only with 1. Well, he can probably be with 1 because the farms are cheaper, and he has 7 villages on wood in 1. 10 village for Mr.Yo. A little bit different composition here because of the saves, but the resources already ready to go up to Castle Age.
Okay.
Market and Blasphemy. Whoa.
Yeah, TaToH not doing a barracks here, so he's not going for a stable at all. Is he? It might even look like he's gonna go full boomer. What I don't like about that is that he doesn't have access to stone. So if you don't commit to any units that give you map control, for TaToH to expand to stone as the game goes on, it's gonna be quite difficult for him.
I mean, I really don't like Market and Blasphemy against Incas, but the good thing for TaToH, don't know if you agree, is that Mr.Yo doesn't know. I mean,
yeah,
have no idea, and he's going range. But then this is a problem here. Well, he will do the siege, but with the range, he's gonna be able to break and try to raid. Obviously, with the siege war soak, he's gonna be fine. But then he can, if he see that his opponent is not really committed on knight, it's inviting Mr.Yo to come forward with siege on his face.
Yeah, but the issue for Yo is that, I mean, TaToH will scout this. He knows where the barracks is, so he will send the scout forward at some point just to look, see what unit is coming. And the thing for him is that, wait, is TaToH auto-scouting? TaToH, man. Go look at what your opponent is doing. Stop auto-scouting.
I'm not gonna go against Joe with the Spanish, but you know,
yeah,
it's what it is, Viper. We're lazy, man. I mean, I put out a scout when I get the 2 boards and the 6 ships, the 8 ships.
Yeah,
That's
makes sense.
Yeah, it's what it is.
Yo,
blame the.
Yo is even going for. Yo is going for double range here, even so he's going heavy on the crossbow production. And I mean, if TaToH does 2 TCs immediately, and then once the crossbows come, he does a siege workshop, he's gonna get a massive equal lead. The thing as well is that the distance is so far for Yo to cross the whole map to get to TaToH's base. It's gonna take forever, and TaToH is about to find out that the ranges are there if he just finally decides to scout. And there we go. Confirms 1 range, confirms a 2 range. He knows exactly what's coming, and he's very likely going to do 2 TCs and then a siege workshop. Or a TC and a siege workshop if he wants to be extra safe.
Okay. You think he's gonna make the 2 TCs right away? Well, we're going to find out. He's already in Castle Age. TC on the left and TC on the right.
2
there
TC.
Awesome.
Indeed. And the thing is, the right TC kind of protects that area as well. The crossbows cannot do anything there because the TC is in the perfect location. The middle area is walled by houses. The frontal area is also walled by houses, where if Yo wants to break through, he's kind of entering the range of the town center again. So TaToH's TC positions and base layout is really good to deal with what Yo is doing here. I really like this approach for TaToH so far.
Well, Mr.Yo is doing 1 TC as well, now going with the crossbows. I believe that Mr.Yo will come forward with the siege war shot, but then when he's going to do that, TaToH will have already a really good economy lead. And with a siege war shot, we'll be fine. Obviously, you need to get the middle somehow, but if he's doing a smooth boom, maybe he can take the middle later, right? No need to hurry up for it.
Yeah, TaToH also doing heavy plow right away, so his economy is going to be insane soon. And by the way, when Yo comes forward siege, TaToH should have 50-60 villagers, and he could easily drop 2-3 stables and just start massing knights. And yeah, I feel like TaToH is just in, like, strategically so far, TaToH has a really good winning strategy going on right now.
Yeah, he's coming already. Mr.Yo is not waiting. He's sending a village, I think. I don't think it's a misclick. He needs to
run into 3 lions if he keeps going.
Yeah,
Oh boy. Okay, it's
Okay.
going to the safe path.
He knows, he knows. Yeah, okay. Crows are coming, but there's a TC, like you were talking. Look at that TC, guys. That TC is amazing with his breaking that palisade. Surprise! There's a town center. He's even doing a house to secure 100% that he cannot cross through that area. Yeah.
Yep.
Even 2 houses. Okay.
I'm not taking any risks here.
Let's see for Mr.Yo. Like, Mr.Yo is still doing the 3rd town center as well, and the siege workshop will happen. He has no resources just to do it, but Mr. TaToH is doing already a siege workshop on the left.
Yeah, TaToH already has 18 on farms on food as well, so TC production will be continued forever, and he could easily make a switch to some military if he wants to. Like if he wants to add the stables and go knights, he can do that. If he wants to go skirmishes, he can do that. The economy is already looking so good.
I think when he noticed Mr.Yo that this is what is happening, I feel that Mr.Yo maybe is gonna mine a lot of stone and maybe drop a castle forward. Remember that Inca's castles are a little bit cheaper, or don't you think that that should work? It's better that he commit on try to boom also with 3 TCs.
It's an option for Yo for sure, but right now his economy is gonna fall super far behind. He only has 6 on food right now, and that's not enough to keep 3 TCs working, man.
Yeah.
So Yo's economy is he's gonna be miles behind the village account very soon.
Well, he's already 9,
And also,
and the upgrades.
yeah, he doesn't even have double bow saw, so yeah, I don't know. Feels like Yo is desperately trying to make something happen. Of course, the mangonels on the right side can make a lot of pressure on TaToH, where TaToH will have to react, but TaToH has his own mangonel, and wheelbarrow is on the way now as well.
He's doing the barrack, Viper. Viper is doing the barrack already. He's gonna start to make knights, like you pointed out 2 minutes ago. Like he's gonna have knights to do the domination probably there. Oh, the mangonel, but don't lose the siege. Don't lose the siege.
Well, things like that definitely gives Yo a really good fighting chance still, so good start for him with the pressure. TaToH will also have to put more villas on gold now. He only has 2 villagers mining gold on the left side because the front gold might be idle very soon. TaToH even doing a second sea workshop. That's quite strange. I feel like that's not the ideal. He should rather drop the stables with that. Eagle's just passing.
Yeah, he want to explore. I think Mr.Yo want to see where is the other resources, where's the goal, and how much he's adding. He can see the stable. This is very important, not Viper, because he gonna know exactly what's going on, and then maybe a barrack forward for Mr.Yo to start to make pikes.
Yeah. This is very good by Yo to get that scouting intel. Also a bit sloppy by TaToH to let it happen though. But yeah, TaToH now bringing 1 mangonel across, another mangonel should pop soon. TaToH had to buy 100 stone to be able to repair his town center. So not as smooth for TaToH anymore. 13 villages difference. There's some significant eco upgrades advantage as well. So not the most comfortable situation for TaToH, but still, I feel like with the right steps, he should be able to fend this off.
Yeah, well, he has a lot of crossbows. With this amount of crossbows with Bodkin, he will need quite a lot of knights. Obviously, if he's also adding some pikes, it will be even more complicated. He has to be careful. There's 2 mangonels as well for Mr.Yo. 2 mangonels facing each other. He's trying to break all the palisade. I don't know for what. If you can explain me, but well, you don't know. Maybe make things start today. I'm coming with a castle forward, which is not happening because he's not even mining stone. He's going for the 4th town center. Mr.Yo knows probably that he's behind in the economy, and he's trying to go heavily on boom right now, Viper.
Yeah, so they're cleaning the palisades is pretty much to give him more room to maneuver and micro. So it's not in the way. That's pretty much the argument for that. But yeah, I like the TC from Yo on the middle, on the gold, giving himself some presence there already. While TaToH is making a transition happen. I would have liked to see TaToH go for a middle TC as well, and he's doing that right now. 4 villagers accompanied by 1 scorpion on the left side. He will do a TC on the gold. But then again, when he builds that town center, he cannot repair his own TC anymore. So there's gonna be a compensation to be made there. 16 villagers though, advantage still, with better eco upgrades. TaToH is still looking great.
Yeah, it's looking good. There's a Mago now. He's gonna try to take another. I think that's for TaToH. Yeah, there you go. So they are even on the Magos down. He's trying to find something else to hit Mr.Yo, but he's not finding absolutely anything. The archers are in top of that hill. Now there is a Mangonel chain bard in armor. Viper, those knights are starting to be scary. Obviously, he doesn't have the numbers yet, but if he's spamming like 8-10 knights, he can do the job against those crossbows.
For sure, especially accompanied by some mangonels, which he already has plenty of. So TaToH just has to add some houses now, make sure he doesn't lose the momentum he has now with the economy and the military transition behind it. He could even go for some counterattacks now with the knights, because if he gets into Yo's economy, there will be some potential to do damage. But yeah, Yo has walled up his economy very nicely as well, so he's kind of safe from any damage there.
Yeah, do you think Mr.Yo should do something else, like few pikes, because he's still spamming knights, still spamming knights. Now he's gonna mine a stone. Obviously, 86 villages, 17 villages ahead. More army for Yo. Mango that is going to go down. I don't know why he's sending a Mango lonely. That's but TaToH didn't see. Ay.
Yeah, just passing there. That should have been a mangle down, obviously, but TaToH is obviously looking everywhere else at the same time, so it's not that easy. 8 knights out now, and if TaToH brings all his mangonels out on the field as well, he can start thinking about engaging this army. But yeah, Yo still has 30 crossbows, over 30 crossbows, so that's still a very scary army with ballistics as well, almost researched. So, but this is the time where TaToH brings all his mangonels and everything to the middle as well, and starts switching the table around, where Yo is suddenly the one who has to defend.
Okay, let's see if it's gonna happen. It looks like it can happen. He's going with knights trying to raid, but Mr.Yo is fully walled. Both are fully walled. To be honest, guys, as you can see, the KD is only 3-2. They are not taking any risk. Viper, the only losses was those mangoes. Now he has to be careful. You see, even stone walling, he has to carry some of those villages. He's 6 knights and a scorpion. It should be okay. I don't know if he's gonna make. Where he's gonna make now, Mr.Yo the castle? Do you think he's gonna make close to his TC, or he will try to go greedy? Well, greedy. You know, more aggressive and try to put in top of that hill, maybe in the middle where the relic is.
Yeah, I think we'll do the hill in the middle, simply to get control in the center. But TaToH, he has the resources to click up. I think he might be missing a second building. Yeah, he's rushing up to university right now, but he could have clicked up to the Imperial Age already. And Yo getting close as well, but TaToH, look at TaToH's economy. That looks like insanely strong economy right now.
Well, due to Zeko, he didn't got any damage. He has a lot, but now he's losing knights for nothing. He's losing a lot of knights for nothing. TaToH, he's with the siesta.
He's having a
Viper.
siesta, man.
He's with the siesta, I agree, man. Well, when we sleep a siesta, it's a deep one, you know? We are not joking around, Viper, so it's what it is.
Can tell. Yeah, that's a bit annoying, but okay, look at the middle now. Yo is going for the castle. If TaToH goes down with his knights now, he could run. Okay, rather want to pick up the Mangano, which makes a lot of sense. He doesn't know obviously if the castle is coming up. TaToH is not too far away from being able to drop his own castle himself, and it's a 50-second difference, so they will be hitting Imperial Age roughly at the same time. But at the moment, TaToH does have the better composition to fight an Imperial Age, and TaToH will also have access to bomb. Again, TaToH having a siesta with the knights. Not the greatest use of his knights so far. Yeah, quite wasteful with the knights so far. But yeah, the fact that the castle is in the middle also means that TaToH could pressure the gold of or the town center of Yo here with his mangonels. And there we go, more ranges for Yo. So Yo is committing on the Arbalest play, so that means TaToH could also just keep making cavalry. And again, TaToH probably wants to do bomber cannon as well, allow him the opportunity to make the bomb cannons be the deciding factor when it's trebs against trebs and castle against castle. Still real like TaToH's position, but he has been a little bit wasteful. Yo,
problem in my opinion, Viper, is that the army that TaToH has to use is much more expensive than the army that Mr.Yo is gonna make it. Also, if he's doing few pikes, halts, or even Kamayuks, they are amazing against the cavalry, the Kamayuks especially. And I don't know. Oh, he didn't wall. He didn't wall, and now the knights are going to be in his base. So what I'm telling is, with 104 villages and TaToH 115, Incas looks like also very dangerous civilization with halts and arbalists.
Yeah, but keep in mind that these knights of TaToH will also have +2 extra melee armor for free.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very solid army still. And if there's any civ that can do power play with knights, it's usually Teutons or Lithuanians or Franks. So still, I mean, also Yo he has not made any signs of transitioning to both Kamayuks or Halberdiers, so he's still fully committing on the crossbows. And if TaToH goes Cavalier and even do Paladin, his armor is just going to be so much stronger than Yo's at the moment.
Definitely
And
will
TaToH is
be. I
cleaning
think now Mr.Yo will need a castle at home. He has the stone, almost has the stone to make the castle at home, because if Mr. TaToH is gonna break in and gonna raid all that economy, that is not really a great economy anymore for Mr.Yo, it can be a disaster. He has to be careful. There's a lot of arches. Look at the knights and the Magnos. And Viper, we can see some crazy bada here, or no, he need to wait. He need to wait, and Mr.Yo, if he's losing one battle right now with those Magnos, it can be completely GG.
Yeah, I think TaToH should just take it slower. Even save those mangas, because you might want to do armatures as the game goes on. But look at the resources. TaToH is queuing up for Paladin. There we go. Paladin upgrade being researched. I'm still a little bit worried that he didn't do chemistry right away, because having access to bomber cannons here would be such a big advantage. And TaToH already has 2 trebuchets, third trebuchet is on the way. He's probably going to wait for 3 or 4 and then unleash to try and get that castle in one big go. Yeah, all the Magnas down, and TaToH is now pulling back with his whole army. Still no sign of barrack switch until now.
There you go.
Yo.
There you go. He's doing now, not in the greatest position. Why you're doing the downhill? I mean, just make a little bit more at the back in the uphill where the artillery ranges are. In my opinion, that's a mistake, because you might lose those barracks quite fast. I don't know what you think, and it's not the best position for sure. And as you say, 3 trebuchets now. That castle need to be repaired. He has a lot of stone to make even another. And TaToH has an excellent position in this one, but he got an excellent position in the previous game as well, Viper. So now he needs to be really careful, because his army is so expensive. There is almost paladins on his base. Still no signal to defense at home. The castle finally for Mr.Yo on his base. Don't want to lose, but the problem is, if he's losing the castle in the middle, where Mr.Yo is gonna take the goal?
Yeah, I guarantee you though, in less than a minute, we're gonna see TaToH sending his whole army to the middle. He wants to fight with the Paladin upgrade, he wants to clean up everything. And in 45 seconds roughly, you're gonna see all the Cavalier of TaToH group up in the middle, most likely. Unless he wants to commit inside Yo's base, I don't think so. But once Paladin comes in, he wants to fight now, before Halberdiers are in.
Yeah, almost get it inside. He couldn't do the castle at home. So many arbalests. Pikes, he got all the pikes right now. Halberdiers incoming. But as you say, I think those arbalests are going to disappear. Let's see if Viper is also Nostradamus. Oh, look at those punish. It's gonna be beautiful. Zoom in a little bit, Viper, because your teammate is gonna clean absolutely everything.
Indeed, surrounded from both sides is where TaToH is even being surprised. We're switching to men at arms behind us, but look at Yo's upgrades for his infantry. He has 0 upgrades. Those pike can do nothing.
What upgrade?
And yeah, exactly. TaToH is cleaning up everything, and behind this, Yo still doesn't even have the second wood upgrade, doesn't have the second farm upgrade, and Yo just has to throw in the towel. Power play with the Paladin from TaToH. Beautiful, beautiful game.
GG, man. GG. Well, zero mistakes.
Yeah, think about this game. Nothing happened this game. Nothing happened.
I wanted to tell you, Viper, when you said beautiful game, and I was like, okay, it's your tournament. I'm not going to complain. A beautiful game for TaToH, because the game was very, very slow.
Beautiful game in the sense of execution from TaToH's side. It was beautiful. He didn't take damage, made all the right moves, strategy was excellent to fight against Incas, and the end game move with the Paladin was fantastic.
Okay,
beautiful
with
game.
Explanation,
but it was,
now I agree.
It was quite boring to watch, kind of. Yeah, I do agree.
Okay, now it is. No, but honestly, it's a tournament game, and you have a civilization that you're thinking, okay, if I wall and I do this strategy, I mean, they are not playing for the show. Obviously, you and me, we are casting, people is watching, but they want to win, not to entertain, right? So it's what it is.
Of course. I mean, you have to pick a winning strategy in this game. Whether it's boring, whether it's 5-layer stone walls or not, you have to pick the winning strategy, and TaToH did, and he succeeded. Very, very well executed.
Why you didn't bring Black Forest in this tournament? I want Black Forest, man. But why you loud, man? Black Forest got epic games in, but like in the days.
This tournament has the classic maps.
Black Forest is not a classic map. I mean, ask Doubt what he got a grand final versus Chris, and they were fighting with villages during 10 minutes in the walls.
And ask Doubt how much he would like to have Black Forest in the tournament right now.
Okay. You know him better than me.
Yes.
Oh my.
I mean, I actually have thought about including Black Forest in one of the events, like that it could be fun to have it in, but I'm also afraid that it would be too many like slow and 4-hour games, and Yeah, it's a
No,
bit
time
problematic
limit.
with Black Forest.
Time limit.
Time
Like
limit on Black
islands.
Forest? Nah. Then you just
Yeah,
go
what?
Turks, Stonewall, fortified walls, 15 bomber cannons with 14 range. He can never push you.
NBL will love that. Come on.
Exactly.
I love you, MBL. Hopefully he's not watching, you know. Anyway, I'm checking the statistics. I don't know if you were showing there. 8,000 resources in total in almost no time. I mean, TaToH Boom was miles ahead from Mr.Yo.
Yeah. And that's how the game played out. Yo committed on the heavy, like double range as well, with behind the fast castle. So he invested heavily into that, fell far behind the economy, and TaToH just made the right strategic decisions and followed it up with a perfect finish. So we're gonna go into the second home map of Mr.Yo, which will be Land Madness, where I thought we would have Teutons for TaToH, but now I'm not so sure anymore.
Will be Aztecs probably. And then Mr.Yo, what? Machiars or Khmer? Machiars being so strong in that map.
Yeah, Yo will go Magyars. I'm very sure about that.
Okay.
They're just such a powerful set with a +1 attack. They're cheaper scouts, and yeah, just really strong civilization on that map. And I thought that was gonna go to.
You put in a favorite,
those...
Viper?
Huh?
Machiars over Aztecs?
It will very much depend on how the opening plays out. Aztecs, obviously, you can still just go pikemen. You can go archers to defend against the scouts, pikeman archer, and then, I mean, you can still transition it to mass eagle play and castles, right? So, but the map is more spread. It's hard to wall. Resources are more exposed, so that generally favors things such as scout plays. So it's hard to say. It's going to be a very close. Again, we still don't know exactly if it's going to go Aztecs. For all we know, he goes Burgundians and uses Aztecs on Arena. We never know.
But Burgundians in that map can compete with Machiars. I mean, because Burgundians can't compete in economy more if the maps are a little bit slower, closer. I don't think that Burgundians without bloodlines can compete with Machiars in a feudal battle.
Yeah, unlikely. Either way, the game is up, so we don't have to speculate anymore. And okay, it is as expected. Aztecs for TaToH here. Oh, interesting choice.
There you go. It was refreshing all the time. It sometimes doesn't appear for me the game. I don't know why, but now it's there.
Yeah, well, trust me, it's Dark Age. You're not missing too much. They're only a minute in. Both of them just pushing deer, scouting the base, and yeah, I really like TaToH's map. He has 3 woodlands he can use. There's 2 golds fairly close, 1 in the back as well. Same goes for Yodlo, so maps will not be a deciding factor here for sure. It will be about their approach and how they play this out. I'm thinking strategies with Aztecs. Do you just go Feudal Age and play Spearman, Eagles, full Spearman, Eagle, and Feudal Age? Is that going to be the play? Does he go Archery range? Does he go Drush, Many Arms? I'm not really sure what is the play here with Aztecs.
I have seen him playing with this civilization and also all the players, and what people is doing here, I don't know if you agree, it's going a little bit in the start, a little bit greedy in the sense that they are not doing any military building, focusing the economy but the Spanish spears. And since Aztec's economy is amazing, when you have got that economy in theory lead, they start to make, like you say, few more army or with eagles, maybe even an archery range to add few skirmishes in case the opponent is coming. And the transition to castle is extremely smooth. But obviously with Machiars being Machiars there, if Machiars is going all in, that can be tricky in this kind of map, no?
Yeah, it can be for sure. That's what I kind of thought TaToH would do with Teutons. Just go to the Feudal Age, get Force Color, start farming like a madman while making a ton of Spearmen, and then transition to Scouts or Knights as that happens. But yeah, Aztecs. I mean, the big thing with Aztecs is you don't have access to the Scouts. So you have to find another way to play the game than what is the meta. And that's going to be really interesting to see what TaToH decides to do here.
Okay, well, for village on wood, obviously. Go.
Yeah. Yo is also not too predictable. Like yesterday, he went for an archery range opening with Magas against Berbers and then switched into Scouts. So it's not impossible that Yo goes for something similar as well, not just play straight Scouts, which is what most people do because it is the meta, as I said. So yeah, we'll get to see what they both decide to go for.
It's with 3 on wood, so it's invite to to think that he's going to go scouts. You can see how TaToH is doing. I don't know if his house at H. He is forced to make the loom. His house he's doing the barrack already. Primil is gonna make militias very early, Viper.
But nay.
Yeah, so it's gonna be the pre-mill rush here, and gonna try to make something happen with those militia early on, and then probably transition into a faster feudal age and spearman afterwards. Is he gonna be ballsy enough to even try to go fast castle? It sounds crazily risky if he would, but you never know. You never know. But yeah,
Okay.
gonna have to hope that the militia gets some damage. I mean, what he can do with the militia is maybe force some walls, maybe even catch Yo off guard on the berries, maybe kill some deer even. So there are a lot of things you can do with the pre-mill rush. But at the same time, there's also a risk that you don't get any damage at all, and then you kind of just slow it to feudal age and can't really compete with the technology.
And if you fall behind a little bit with the time, with the transition to feudal age, and the Magyars is coming without any damage at home, then pray. Then really pray, because I always say that the scouts with fortune eat villagers. Like so damn fast. And that's so dangerous. Magyars is snowball games as well. In a specific map, because then it's crazy how Magyars are barely selected ever on standard Arabia. Empire Wars is a different one, but in random map, Magyars, it's never peak. But in this kind of maps, Atacama as well, Magyars is so damn popular.
Yeah, and that's because it's harder to wall these maps, right? So scouts with extra attack has a lot more potential. We can see Yo scouted the drush from TaToH immediately, and he did pre-wall some of his resources, but he's sending 5 vills to make a lumber camp now, and TaToH realizes that and catches them in the act, and Yo will have to go back with all 5 villagers who wanted to make a second lumber camp. It's a very, very nice move for TaToH. He might even get one villager if he is lucky, but it's too close to the TC. I think TaToH should abandon that, and he does. But that's a big hiccup for Yo's development. He wanted to already have a second lumber camp, and that wouldn't come in. Now that was a lot of idle time. If you look at the worker efficiency last minute, Yo is down to 50%, and he's trying to go for the gold again.
Yeah, so maybe he has changed his strategy. I will recall you back a little bit, because we have some problem with Discord here. It's a moment, Viper. I'm back. Hopefully this is fine now.
I have no issues on my end, by the way.
Yeah, I know. It's just Discord. Sometimes, for some reason, I don't hear you well. It's like clipping, you know, a little bit. And that happens sometimes with the servers.
That is weird. But either way, I would say TaToH's gotten off to a great start here. Now, there's always going to be a time window here, but look at the wood economy now for Yo. And that is all because he couldn't get that second lumber camp out. He's going to hit feudal age now, and he's not going to have the wood to make the archery range right away. So his transition will be a bit slower than he would have liked. Yeah, he has 2 villagers now, just sitting there waiting to get the wood to build an archery range. There we go, and TaToH will scout that again if he keeps being active with his eagle. He will see the archery range. Obviously, he saw the gold income now, so he knows there's an archery opening. At the same time, I feel like archery opening is probably good for Aztecs. He will be fine with that. He would like to transition to archers himself, but if we look at TaToH's side, he has sent 5 bills to stone. Looks like he wants to tower up his whole base.
Okay. Well, with the archery range, he probably has changed the plan he wanted to do, but I wouldn't be surprised that he's doing some archers and still put a stable up soon when he get the resources. But obviously, this is good for TaToH Viper, because he's just avoiding the early aggression from Magyars. That is always scary. And right now, he's gonna be in a comfortable position. Do you think he will make them in attempts? I don't think that he will make it, right? Or you think it's worth it to do it?
They're all full HP, and he has plenty of resources, so he might consider doing it. But nah, everyone goes for eagle production right off the bat. And what TaToH did was he just sent 5 villagers to take 50 stone, and then he sent the villagers back again, which means he has exactly 250 stone, meaning he can afford 2 towers. And that's why he wanted to get that extra little bit of stone so he can make that second tower just in case he needs it. First tower is on the gold. I reckon the second one might be on the wood line. There we go. So TaToH's just securing his base against both archers and potential scout raids. And at the moment, looks like TaToH also wants to just play full infantry. So we'll go eagles, spearmen, and we might see an attempt to get to even the castle quite fast here by TaToH. Yo doing a nice job now with his archers microing against the militia, picking them off one by one in TaToH. I mean, the thing So the militia from TaToH are still buying time. They forced idle time, they forced a lot of walling, and they're still forcing the army from Yo to stay at home. So this game has played out perfectly so far for TaToH and what he wants to do. The question now is just if TaToH will do anything other than what he's committing on, which is infantry. Doesn't look like it at the moment, so even fast castling could be an option here for TaToH.
Okay, sorry that I'm not talking a lot, Viper, but there is some problems on here on my end, so I didn't want it to bother you. Hopefully now it's better here as well. So who has the lead for you here? I mean, do you think this is benefit the Aztecs approach? Because now we can see the stable and check the economy already for the Aztecs.
Yeah, TaToH is also doing a market now, so he wants to start playing around with the market and balancing it to go to the castle age. It is hard to say who is better right now. Of course, if the army from Yo comes in now and kills 10 villagers, obviously Yo is ahead, but if TaToH can prevent taking damage and getting to the castle age without much problems in his base, obviously it's looking really good for him, because then the Eagles on open maps like this can also dominate when they get let loose in the economy of the enemy. But TaToH at the moment he has 4.
Okay, guys, I'm just closing a little bit Discord. You know, I will just restart Discord. Discord sometimes is going cuckoo. I'm restarting Discord to see if it's going to work, and hopefully now it's gonna be fine. It's a pity. I didn't want to. I was listening and I was like, okay, I don't know if it's going to be there. But let's see. Okay, he's ready here, the archers, and let's try to join now. TheViper.
But castle age click. Wait, TaToH's doing armor instead of going castle age. So what's happening? Okay, he's switched. And sending another villager out. He might lose another villager kind of for free, trying to dodge the shot, but does not. A little bit sloppy from TaToH, again having a bit of a siesta, but he's on the way to the castle age.
It's still not working. Well, I'm gonna keep casting alone. I'm gonna keep casting alone. I will focus in the game right now. I'm gonna keep casting alone. Archers and Scouts coming here. Mr.Yo is with the lead because sadly the sound is not working. I will close the Discord and I will try to join him later after the game probably, because this is definitely not working. We see now how he's on the way to Castle Age. He's doing a second barrack. Mr.Yo need to make a massive damage right now. He has 5 villages, 6 villages lead, but if he's not doing big damage now with Magyars, he's gonna be in a terrible position. He's trying to deny that barrack, and that's really important. He need to micro this like crazy because he knows that he's on the way to Castle Age. Of course he's not hearing me. How he's gonna hear me if we are not connected? Okay. Give me a moment.
Okay, I thought it would go for counterattack. So no sign of that. Hello, Mamba, you're back. Is there any improvement on the sound?
No, I'm here. If you can close Discord and we make a new recall, maybe to see if it's fixed. If not, well, I will give up. If you can do it.
Okay, I'll try to close Discord quickly.
Yeah, well, it's not working as you can see. And Scout and Archers are just happening. Here is coming. Has to be careful. He's on the way to Castle Age.
Hello. Testing.
Perfect now.
Perfect.
It's Discord
okay,
sometimes.
Great.
You just restart and that is working now. Thank you, man.
Okay.
Well,
Sweet. All good.
Going with the Eagles. Going with the Eagles now, and you can see the Eagles. If there's a hole now, it can be the game complete for TaToH.
Indeed, the power spike of the Eagles here when Yo is still on feudal age is insane, and Yo has done a nice job so far securing all his resources, but TaToH can still jump on the army of Yo, because the army of Yo cannot compete with Eagle. As you can see, TaToH even running under the TC doesn't care. He wants to jump on those archers before Yo gets to the castle age, but I think Yo doesn't even care. Yo doesn't really, he's not really going to use these archers in the castle age. I think he's going to go full knights, so I think Yo is kind of okay with trading this against Eagles. But if he's going to go full knights, TaToH could also think about making a pikeman switch behind this. And we all know how scary Eagle pikeman can be, or Eagles alone are even that scary. So still, I feel like TaToH is in a great spot now. But Yo has a better economy and smoother transitions. But you can see the minimap now. the red dots are coming across the map all the time.
All over. It's good that that Machiat will get the +2 attack for free, like with that upgrade. Oh, but he's gonna lose now a few villagers. He's gonna lose a few villagers there. 1 down, 2 down, and I was telling that with the +2 attack, those knights might eat the eagle, so the pikes are gonna be needed, maybe even some monks. The problem is the time here. Is he gonna have time to mass an oath army? Because you can spam eagles all the time, and this is exactly what he's doing, raiding on the farming as well, trying to get in the wood line. That he has time is 2 stables, but 4 farmers now active for Mr.Yo.
Yeah, that's the issue with the Eagles. They can just dive into the thesis as well and force the idle time there. And food economy is what Yo is struggling the most with right now. He does have enough to get 2 knights out. He probably will force sacrifice thesis time even to get more knights out. And what Yo did, he sent 5 villages to the top, 4 villages to the top as well, and is taking gold on the top side of the map where TaToH has no scouting. TaToH now getting the 2nd armor upgrade as well, grouping up his eagles so he can even take fights against the knights. I think honestly TaToH should just commit, fight the units under the TC, just clean the army and just keep idling everything. I think that'll be a good move for TaToH, but he should wait for the +2 armor as well. I would have loved to see a monastery as well, get some monks involved, and this army just gets more and more scared to fight. And like we've seen so many times now, the Eagle snowball with Aztecs is just incredibly strong.
Yeah, and what is the play here for Mr.Yo? He cannot even counter-attack, he's trying to claim this. He has only 5 knights and 5 archers versus how many? Versus 20 eagles. The knights can be +2 Viper, but these 20 eagles. Probably he doesn't need to commit there, just gather a little bit more, and then, as you said, 1 monastery forward, few monks, and what Mr.Yo can do. For me, the score here is absolutely tricky, but the monastery is just happening on Mr.Yo base. He's gonna try to convert, or probably heal those knights as well. This is overchop on the wood? No. What Mr.Yo can do, Viper? I don't think that he can do too much. Double monastery from TaToH. Ah.
Yeah, he can do what he's doing so far. He's been taking efficient trades and picking off 1 eagle at a time, and so he's kind of gotten more favorable trades than I would like. He's actually even going for a counterattack with 6 knights right now. And he's doing a monastery himself to heal up those knights, and TaToH is vulnerable to this counterattack. If Yo finds the right angle to attack, there's not enough eagles yet to defend, but yeah, TaToH is going for a double monastery you mentioned, and once 2 monks are out, the counterattack from the knights here is suddenly gone. And I like what TaToH is doing. He's already preemptively pulling the gold villagers because he knows the pressure is coming in. He just needs to now quick wall his wood line and then buy time for the monks to come out, and he should be completely fine.
Yeah, the problem is that the monks are not there. Now he's walling the wood line. Yes, if he
Oh,
finds
it's
the
still
goal at the
open.
back.
TaToH, you need to wall. TaToH, no!
Oh, he's not wall! He's not wall!
Oh, that is so frustrating. You know what happened there? I mean, this could be good. If he can trap the knights now, he can get some conversion because the monks are out. And he only lost, what, 2 villages in that exchange? So it's not the end of the world, but yeah. Now Yo might accidentally find the extra resource of TaToH as well. That was a disaster minute for TaToH. What happened there was TaToH queued up villages to build a wall, but they got stuck next to each other. So the villager that was going to go and build a wall that he didn't finish was actually stuck because of the other villagers. So that was very unfortunate for TaToH, but yeah, he didn't take too much damage, so it is all right. But Yo now is also going to find the 2nd gold of TaToH, and TaToH suddenly will be having to deal with these knight counterattacks non-stop, and that's very, very rough for an Aztec player who is relying so much on that gold income.
I mean, all that made him get the luck to find all the resources, but he's still at home. The Eagles are raiding on the farmers, and Mr.Yo is losing few villages as well, and the most important, idling his economy is how many? 11 eagles raiding absolutely everything. Police are the same for both players, and now 13 army 24. Oof, I don't know who's getting this game, Viper, because the numbers are not that far, and those guys are doing an amazing job, Viper.
TaToH is taking a bad fight now under the TC of Yo. Yo also has fletchings, that helps as well. TaToH did get 2 conversions on the knights, so that is very nice for him, and TaToH now can suddenly not fight anymore without the monks in his army. He's depending on monks and eagles to be together. And TaToH, again, the issue now is that monks, the knights are faster, so TaToH will have to constantly react. And TaToH has gold mines spread so far, and yeah, it's gonna be a bit of, suddenly TaToH has to play defensive, and that's not what he wants. But he is ahead in economy now, and again, the eagle play from Aztecs is way easier to play and execute. So TaToH still has to play it sort of safe and try to avoid mistakes, and he probably needs to make some more food economy himself. But yeah, again, this will now come down a lot to how the monk conversions are going for TaToH. As we see Yo now spreading out 1 wave on the bottom, 4 knights coming in on top side as well. and he's looking to raid and hit the economy from TaToH as TaToH is moving out with
Oh my
all his
God.
eagles just at the wrong time. Oh,
Yeah, well, those knights, he need to find also some damage. He's doing some outposts now on the right side. The knights are trying to find
top
some
side.
damage. What's happening in the top side?
Instant reaction
converted.
from TaToH. Yeah, instant reaction from TaToH. He sees the 4 knights coming in right away, but the monks are going weird. What? Where are the monks going?
Oh,
Where are the monks?
he's gonna kill a lot, Viper. He's gonna kill a lot, and he's with lightcast. But then the knights is finding the goal. I think the mobility now with those knights is being insane. He's taking the monks, and in the south he's killing villagers. This is going really bad, in my opinion. Now for TaToH, Mr.Yo is taking absolutely everything, killing so many villagers, and now taking also in the tower all the monks. He's converting now for knight, yes, but honestly, the damage has been done, in my opinion, here for Mr.Yo. Don't know what you think. Well, he converted 3 knights.
Well, TaToH is now doing a counterattack under TC again of Yo, and the villager counts is exactly the same. And TaToH still has 12 more military numbers on the field. Of course, this looks bad now, and the knights are generally stronger, but TaToH is doing some counter damage himself. And he just has to make sure he doesn't take terrible trades now with the Eagles, and he still has a fighting chance. But yeah, that was a great move by Yo, attacking. Yo was taking another great trade on the top side, and mixing in the light cav as well was a fantastic move to snipe some of the monks. And suddenly TaToH is looking like he has barely any gold income. It's only on the bottom side.
No.
He has some gold income.
That fight Viper under the TC is bad for TaToH. He's gonna lose everything. Losing all the eagles. He took only 1 villager for losing like 10 eagles. Now he's going back. Still, the good thing here is that, well, the eagles are much cheaper to keep the evolution with the knights. So Mr.Yo cannot sleep any second. Even if the score say that he's super ahead, look at the village count. 2 villages different, and TaToH is still with more army.
The issue though is that they have more army, yes, but knights are way more, way stronger, you can say. Yeah, exactly. And Yo now doing a TC as well on the top side, so he's looking to expand that economy a little bit. For TaToH, I feel like again, TaToH had the time window early cast stage. If he sent a villager forward, maybe made a monastery and got like 1 or 2 monks in with his first 15 eagles, then I think Yo could have never ever fought that army. And then TaToH could have also mixed in maybe a capped ram, not capped ram, a battering ram, and starting to apply the pressure. And TaToH even doing a second TC himself now. So seems like we're kind of stabilizing, and both players thinking about getting some economy on the field.
That's why I think Mr.Yo might be incredibly motivated, because in case that he's winning, they decided it's gonna be his favorite map, Viper. So everything is looking great here for to have a great series. The decided game, which map is going to be, Viper? If he's captain. Arena. Arena. Oh my god. Well, 4 knights trying to raid. The Eagles are also coming now. So many monks as well. But Viper is raiding a lot, but not reacting.
Oh,
No, it's fine. Those monks are crucial. He need to go back. That he has light caps. 4 light caps. Where is the light caps? He's in front. Oh my god. Mr.Yo is attacking all the time. Look at those 2 light caps. If TaToH do not notice, how many villages he can lose?
Yeah. Indeed, this army TaToH has in the front now of Yo's base is the most important army he has right now. And yeah, there's so many knights now in light cav in the back of TaToH's base as well. It's going to lose a lot of villagers here, trying to get a conversion as well. But still, he has to make sure, like the army TaToH has in the front now could do a lot of damage to the woodland. But Yo is going to commit, and TaToH needs to get the conversions. The knights are coming in. 1, 2, 3, 4. He has 5 monks. Could be 5 knights converted here. Oof. And still losing vills in the back of his base. But what? He didn't get a single conversion from that. That seems super unlucky. But that's monks, man.
It's the monks. I hate the random time generation there for the monks. More light guys are coming. He's trying to take the monks. If he's taking the monks, he's gonna kill everything, Viper. If he's taking those monks, but now he's protecting that well. Nice path in there. Doing a tower on the wood line. Perfect. The damage he did at the back, it was insane. For Yo. He killed so many and gonna kill more villagers, I think.
TaToH picking up a monk now with his light cav as well. Yeah, those 3 knights in the back is definitely annoying for TaToH. He has to find a way to deal with that. But still, think of again about the front army here. This army could still do so much damage. Yo was even forced to do a tower, and it's only 8 villagers difference. So if TaToH can get a fantastic trade there on the front, 5 monks, if he converts 5 knights, he will surely win the fight. And there is still a lot of potential. Again, keep in mind, Eagles is like the easiest army to play in the game. If you get one good fight, things can get really out of control. TaToH adding a 3rd TC now as well. But at the same time, Yo has dealt with this perfectly so far. He's sending a lot of villagers forward to make another TC. And he's going for a counterattack. Wow. That is very brave.
Wow. He's ignoring the army, and he has all the army there at home. And if you check point of view from Mr.Yo, he's gonna probably lose that stable, but he doesn't care. He's just going. And honestly, Viper, if he's going right now with those knights, there's only 2 monks. He can kill absolutely everything. Like how much damage he can do there with those knights? Whoa!
Indeed, and TaToH has 2 monks and 4 eagles. He sees the knights coming in now, and he's gonna have to convert immediately and try to secure as many villagers as he can, really. There's no reaction from TaToH yet on the villager count, so the villagers might... Okay, Yo actually decides to just go back, so he won't lose any villagers there. 4 light cap now coming from Yo on the bottom side. The monks of TaToH are exposed. He's trying to secure them. But the light cap are going to dive on the monks, and no, TaToH again nicely saved. Still somewhat of a close game, even though Yo is still definitely in the lead.
The game is amazing. I mean, it's a back and forth, it's full aggression. It's almost impossible to wall. That's why I also really love Land Madness. And they have to be aware all the time. Like, they cannot breathe. But honestly, Viper, with 28 army, more army for Yo now against the Aztecs. And we say that the Knights are better and also few light caps. If he's just killing the monks, he can make a destruction on TaToH economy. And he's going for it.
Indeed, even though TaToH got the conversions there, there's still so many knights left over, and yeah, TaToH does have pieces now though, so he can hide, but he will still lose the tower and lose the position. And yeah, when the military numbers are getting lower and lower for the Aztec player, that's something you never want. I think TaToH might even have to think about getting a pikeman switch going here. That'll be the only way to start taking more cost-effective trades. And as we can see, there are 6 spearmen already on the map and more in production, so pikeman is on his mind here. And that could be a good way for him to try and make his way back into the game. He's going to have 1 more PC as well soon. Ooh, big conversion is on the front side.
Yeah, that battle is important. Yeah, look at those light casts. If he's coming, if he's taking those monks, he can then commit probably so many eagles. That army has been dancing around Mr.Yo base for the last 15 minutes, Viper. Still there, trying to make a big damage. He's not doing. He's trying to hit here and there, but not happening. Now the pikeman upgrade. The knights is still now on TaToH base, and now this can be a good battle for TaToH. This is not a good one. Look at that spot with those spears. Viper is gonna lose everything well before the pikes. Those knights are very strong. He should probably wait with the spear. He's gonna lose all the spears, Viper, before the upgrades.
He will lose the spears, but Yo will also lose most of his knights. I think in the end that's an okay trade for TaToH, and TaToH will get... At the same time, the light cap finally get on top of the monks. TaToH has done such a good job defending them, but finally the light cap got on top and all the monks will disappear. But not before they got a couple of conversions, so looks like the forward army now will finally be cleaned up and Yo will have to not worry about that. But behind all of this, military counts are still similar. TaToH has the pikeman switch going, and he has same villagers, even more TCs. I still think TaToH has a good shot at winning this game.
Wow, do you think now, do you think now Magyar should switch to cav archers, or he should keep going with this? Because when there is gonna be all pikes, maybe the knights is not the way to go anymore.
Cav archers which makes sense, but look at the gold income from Yo at the moment. He has so few villas in gold, only 1 villager taking gold. He has to put a lot of villas now on stone because he wants to get a castle up rather. But there's a big chance now that TaToH gets the army count to just, because TaToH is making a seed workshop, he's going to start producing mangonels and maybe rams. And TaToH is suddenly going to start thinking about putting on a lot of pressure. We have to point out eco upgrades as well. Both of them are playing with feudal age eco upgrades at the moment, so we're 43 minutes into the game.
Viper.
Yes?
Aztecs is disgusting. Check it, the KD. The KD is 127.64, like the double. And the population is the same, basically.
Yep, that's Aztecs.
Yeah, man. It's incredible, this civilization, honestly.
Unfortunate for TaToH here, he made a forward siege workshop, but Yo spotted it right away and is just cleaning it up with his knights. And yeah, the issue with the pikemen though, however, is the mobility is even lower for TaToH. Even though it is a counter unit, he's gonna spend a lot of time running around now trying to chase the enemy units. And that's not ideal. And I think TaToH should have gone for rams here probably. And now Yo is ready to drop even castles, so I think a castlage pressure from TaToH is not really going to be an option anymore. Yo still raiding with the light cav, and but Yo still hasn't moved on to gold. I'm very surprised that he hasn't switched a lot of those onto gold yet.
Yeah, he's crazy. Only 3 villages. He has 40 farmers. That farming is already solid. Obviously, it's really, really solid. He's doing the castle, so he's playing safe. He's not gonna make a forward castle. Obviously, he needs to put more villages on gold. Bows on heavy plow right now. Not even horse collar for TaToH. Definitely the economy is a little bit better now for Mr.Yo. Also 6 villages more. I don't know, he's starting to look solid here. Yo, the economy for TaToH, I mean, if you are with the Aztecs, doesn't look really smooth now. And with that Castle Lab is defending quite a lot of area, that the stone, the gold, the farmers, well, you can still always run around. What do you think, Viper? Like, and with this mobility, TaToH need to maybe attack again from other spot. Otherwise, I think the transition to Imperial gonna be faster for Mr.Yo.
I hate that TaToH never leaves some pikemen in the backside. Like, the raids come in there over and over and over again. TaToH can just leave 5 pikemen there and he's fine. But he keeps grouping his pikemen in the middle. Obviously, TaToH doesn't know about the castle. No, he actually knows about the castle. So he knows the pressure in the middle is not going to be a thing anymore. And then what you should do is just leave pikemen around. Keep your economy safe and try to work yourself towards Imperial Age, probably. Because that will be your only way of trying to have a fighting chance in this game now. TaToH queuing up Wheelbarrow, still missing all the eco upgrades besides that. And yeah, Yo's just using the food eco he has right now to raid with light cav, and it's working out for him. Causing a lot of idle time for TaToH, and he's now suddenly 15 villages ahead.
Viper, look at the second castle. Mr.Yo is trying to bring doubt into this semi-final. Because that castle, I mean, he doesn't know really what army he has. But the good thing is that he's making that TaToH is moving all the pikes at the same time, as you mentioned, to the south. There's no army in front, and that castle can be definitive. It's just a sick castle on his face with so many villages. Do you think he's gonna make? Well, I think he will. There's nothing here TaToH has to counter this.
Yeah, the pikemen are too far. Now, TaToH has stone. He could do his own castle, kind of, but yeah, the pikemen are too far away. TaToH would never have time to get there. But it looks like TaToH wants to do a counter castle. He's grouping up villagers there. He's still missing 100 stone to be able to do it, but yeah, the castle will go up. It's too deep already. 50% on the way. And yeah, TaToH, I'm not sure what his follow-up could be. He's still so exposed to raiding on the right side. All the pikemen are on the bottom side now, then Yo can just switch over and go to the bottom side. Yo even doing Corvinian armies is going to start making Magyar Hussar without them costing gold. And I think Yo even is thinking about Imperial Age here, so TaToH. Oh, TaToH finally did horse color and bow though, so small victories. But yeah, looking really good for Mr.Yo.
Mr.Yo is gonna make a third castle forward. A third castle now, well, not forward because the other one was at home. A second castle forward, chambered in armor. He's even spamming more army, Viper. Like, okay, I will do to Imperial at some time in the game, but he's still spamming everything.
Yeah, but what he's making is not costing gold, right? He's using Magyar Hussar and he's doing light cavalry. And he will just build up that gold count now, and once he hits 800 gold, that's when he clicks Imperial Age. And until then, he will make trash units just to raid, and he's still getting kills and forcing TaToH to react all over the place. And yeah, TaToH is looking at an incredible tough uphill battle. And now the pikemen are out of position, so Yo is just committing the big army to the bottom side. And he might even dive on the townsland of TaToH, which doesn't even have fletching, so it barely tickles the knights of Mr.Yo.
Well, that has been an amazing play by both players, but Mr.Yo facing the Aztecs and being able to pull out this game is just fantastic, amazing. You can see how he's on the way to Imperial, and guys, we most likely will have the arena battle, Viper, and we can tell to the viewers that Mr.Yo has played in the last days few arena games because he also lost 3-0 on Master of Arena. I think he has lost the arena games as well against you, so TaToH should be favored in the next game?
Well, if you think Arena, Yo is probably like, it should in theory be a map that Yo should be good on, because Arena is a lot about decision making and making the right calls in terms of armory composition, so that kind of speaks towards Yo's strength as a player. But he hasn't performed well in Arena lately. Like you said, he lost 3-0 in the Master of Arena as well. He has lost a few Arena games with that in mind, but we have to think about civilizations as well. Yo has Malay, and TaToH has Burgundians. And it's a match I haven't seen very often, honestly, and I'm not really sure even how that's going to play out. So very excited to see that coming, actually. Quite happy that... It sounds weird, but I'm happy that TaToH is losing and we're going to game 5. But hopefully TaToH can bring it home with Burgundians. But either way, it should be a lot of fun to see that matchup.
A 5 game is always hype. A decided game is always hype. But, well, population, 153. We're talking about the next game, guys, because as you can see, if TaToH is coming back in this one, I mean, I don't know, but it's almost Imperial Age. TaToH is still not up to Imp, so there's no chances here for TaToH.
Yeah, 3,000 score difference as well, and yeah, TaToH will resign in 30 seconds when Yo hits him, if not earlier. Yeah, look at the right side now. Ooh, nice quick balls by TaToH, but I mean, it looks pretty now, but it's not really going to save him the game. TaToH is trying to expand still. He still has, I mean, if you look at the population, he's still having a healthy population, but the position in the game, and Yo has the Cow Rusher switch going on, and he hits Imperial Age, and TaToH will call the GG because he knows there is no chance for him to come back in the game
Yeah,
anymore.
GG. Whoa, GG. Well, at some point, I really have the feeling, Viper, that it could be the 3-1, but he held it like crazy against the Eagles, and in a map like this, really great one, because against the Aztecs, it's not really easy, even if you are with Magyars, Viper.
Yeah, so the thing is that TaToH got away with the fast castle with the Eagles, right? And it looked like it wasn't in a good spot, but I think it took a little bit of some ineffective trades or inefficient trades in the under the town center of Yo in the early phase. And also, I would have loved, like, the scary part about Aztecs is sure the Eagles, but then when there's some, like, then you make the counter unit which would be a knight, and then suddenly there's also like 1 or 2 monks in the composition. That's when it's so hard to ever engage those Eagles. And I would have liked to see TaToH send the villager forward, maybe do a monastery, maybe a seed workshop, and just keep applying pressure with the Eagles. And yeah, the way it played out, he kind of lost his Eagle mass, and then Yo was able to make counterattacks, and the economy of TaToH got kind of messed up a little bit. And it was still a super neck and neck game for the longest time, the longest part. But yeah, Yo just showing why he likes this map, and really active with his units, raiding everywhere. Really
Exactly,
nice moves on the monks as well to pick them off. Yeah, just very well played by Yo.
I wanted to ask exactly that, what you say, like, probably the main key was that he keep active himself, even with a lot of army from TaToH surrounding him all the time. Like, he was always active, because if you stay passive, probably TaToH go forward, as you say, and then it's GG.
That's the thing, right? TaToH's army was Eagles only. There was no siege. There was no threat, kind of, because he, like, if TaToH goes under the TC, Yo could garrison all the vills. If on the woodline it was walled, so Goldmine was walled. So the counterattack made a lot of sense for Yo, and it was absolutely the right decision. And yeah, he never let it go. Once he took that first proper engagement and got the raids in, he never let the lead go.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if you mentioned, people is also asking in my channel, and I think I have someone in your channel. The other semifinal is being played live after this series, right, Viper?
Yes, correct. They're playing consecutively, so it'll be this match, and then right after that, Leary against Jordan will begin. Should also be a banger of a series. And then between the grand final, we will have a quick best of 3 as well to give the second semifinalist a little bit of a break, and also let the 2 losers of the semifinals fight it out a little bit to see who deserves third place. Now, personally, I'm not a fan of third place matches because I feel like if you lose, you're out of the tournament, and you don't feel like playing anymore. But we were thinking about how can we give the second semifinalist a little bit of a break, and a quick best of 3 between third and fourth place felt like a suitable way to do it. So yeah.
Well, it's probably the best way, actually, because since both semifinals are going to be live, is the best way to make them rest as well. And we will talk later, but well, it could be still the chance to be a grand final TaToH versus Jordan and TheViper. I'm sure
Dude,
that you want that final. What do you think?
it could have been 4 GL members in the semifinal. If I beat Yo, Thou beat Leary, we would have had GL only, top 4.
I
That
was
was the
being
dream.
nice, man. I didn't want to say. I knew that, but I didn't want to say.
That was the dream, man. That was what we were aiming for. Would have been
So
sick if we got that.
you rigged the brackets then for that reason?
I wish I could say I had anything to do with the brackets, but I'm afraid I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually not
Okay.
sure how exactly they did the brackets because the seeds to me seem a bit off. I'm seed 11 or 9, I think. I think Kapach was seed 5. So
You
I'm
are
not sure
10.
how.
You are 10,
I'm 10.
if I'm not wrong.
I'm 10.
And
Okay, I'm 10.
Leary is 16. Well, sorry.
Leary's seed 16?
No, or 15. Yeah, it was 16
15?
before Hira didn't check
right,
in.
right.
Hira was 1 and Leary 16. So if if Hira check in, run of 16, Hira versus Leary.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
true. What?
One
oh
is
my God,
number 1 and 16.
Yeah,
Viper,
makes sense.
Viper.
Wow, yeah, makes sense. That's pretty
Yeah.
sick. Yeah, might have to look at how they did the seeding, and maybe if there ever is the Open Classic 2 or whatever, maybe we can also maybe use tournament like the AV2ELO.net to incorporate that as well. But yeah, obviously that should probably never be the seeding that Leary and Herak
Well,
meet in round
honestly,
16.
It looked like the season was pretty much like probably the highest elo and ever,
Yeah.
and the current one. I don't think that works because you know how the ladder, I mean, is being played as well with several
Yeah.
accounts on people. Also, the maps, if you only play one map, and also some people play random, other pick civilizations all the time. So I think the tournament should be always there, like a combination. I mean,
Yeah, I agree. Probably has to have to find some, even also just like letting or like getting a group together, like 4 or 5 people that know the community, know the players and everything, to like just see the top 16 first, and then the rest could be on rating, something like that. Just because
yeah,
it will definitely be more accurate than any type of ladder rating system. But obviously, that's something we can look at for whatever comes next. But yeah, we have Arena coming up. I don't think the game has started yet, but still
yeah, it
should be an
didn't.
exciting game.
And we can talk about the arena and the potential choice. Then, you think it's gonna be completely Burgundians versus Malay?
Hmm.
Okay. Well, Khmer
I
without
mean,
bomber cannon doesn't make sense, right?
Vi- yeah. So Yo going Malay is like 100%, right? I
Yeah.
don't think there's any chance that he would go Khmer over Malay on Arena. And then you ask TaToH, like Vikings is obviously a strong civ, but you don't want to end up in a situation against Malay where Malay has bomber cannons and you don't. So I feel like Vikings is not going to be an option here. So it is pretty much nails it down to Burgundians against Malay. And the thing with Burgundians is no one knows 100% the right way to play Burgundians yet. Flemish Revolution is insanely strong. I'm sure TaToH will have that in his mind, but at the same time, Burgundians have an amazing economy and they don't need to play Flemish Revolution. They get cheap Paladin, they get elite skirmishers, they get hand cannons, bomber cannons. They're still a very strong civ without Flemish Revolution. The Flemish Revolution is just a cherry on top, like the instant win button you can click. So the options are there, and I'm sure we'll see Flemish Revolution at some point. Question is just how TaToH approaches it, whether it will be like early imp, get 160 villagers, go Flemish Revolution and bomber cannons, or if it will be like 1 hour into the game is kind of equal, and TaToH goes Flemish Revolution to go for a killing move.
Did you see
I
MBL
think
TaToH yesterday?
I did. Yeah, I did see the last game. Yeah,
Uh,
that was
did you expect that?
text textbook how to not do Flemish Revolution.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
like MBL, he did Flemish Revolution and then he started cutting. So he had like
yeah.
150 idle military for 2 minutes and not villagers working. It was very strange.
Yeah, he didn't need that. I mean, he needed to wait a little bit to have, I don't know, 2 bombardianos and 2 traps. And when you could,
Yeah,
then you do it.
yeah. Without siege
Yeah.
as well, you cannot take out castles and things like that. So yeah, that was it was not the best execution by MBL, and he will be the first one to admit that.
Game
But
is
yeah,
there.
yeah, I'm already in. I
Okay.
think I think that yeah, Burgundian's late game is also very strong, right? So, but then again, I feel like Turk's late game probably outmaneuver Burgundian late game quite heavily. So, I think Flemish Revolution was the right choice by MBL, but it was maybe too early. He wasn't really ready to make that push yet. But either way, we have Malay Burgundians as expected.
Malay and Burgundian in arena map. Arena map, remember guys that it usually have, I say usually have because the map yesterday for you in arena in the first one was fantastic, right, Viper?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
And
my
even
god.
this map is quite ugly for TaToH because the stone mines is blocking the gate. So
Oh
TaToH
yeah.
has only one gate to escape. Even the second gate on the right side is blocked by trees. So TaToH has
Oh
one
wow.
outruns of his base, and that's quite awkward. But that's
Yeah.
kind of where he will leave anyway, so it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, but usually, like I say, these 2 goals, one stone inside,
Yeah.
this inside, everything inside. Do you prefer this let's say easier map generation of our arena, or remember back in the days that there was even sometimes relics inside, deers and ships could be outside, or one and the other. Do you prefer that this is, let's say, more fair, or you would like to see more random generation?
Well, it depends what you're after, right? Are you after entertaining games that can be super unfair? Sure. Then you should not go for this type of arena. But if you want fair competitive
Bonjour.
arena, then you have to go for even distribution and relics safe distributed like this. Because if like in the past you could have like people would be forced to play super YOLO strategies just because the
Yeah.
map was terrible and the relics were terrible. And that's not fair or competitive in my opinion. Entertaining, yes, but not fair or competitive.
Yeah, it was crazy. Sometimes you will get 1 goal inside, and your opponent got 4 goals inside. Like
Yeah.
that was crazy.
Like in
Well,
the back of your base, one guy could also have like 500 extra tiles while the other one had no extra space. And in those 500 tiles were like 3 goals and 1 stone. It's just like ridiculously unfair.
I won't say what player, but I remember in some arena edition, and we can talk about that because arena is usually guys is slow. I mean, you're gonna go probably
What?
Mr.Yo gonna go. It's slow
This
in
is
the
so
start.
exciting right
No?
now.
Yeah, but this is slow. It's slow in the start, no?
It's so exciting right now, man.
I agree.
I can't
3 villages
contain
of
my
wood chop in the
excitement.
trees from Mr.Yo.
Yeah, but the big thing here is that the villages from TaToH has double bid axe. That's exciting.
That's truth. But this is, for example, not common. I mean, I have seen pretty much all the games with Burgundians. Most of the people with Burgundians is leaving only 3 villages on wood and double bit tags. TaToH has 4 villages and double bit tags. I mean, it's not a big deal, but it's a small difference with what I have seen from pretty much everyone playing with Burgundians in arena.
Yeah, so normally you keep 3 at first, like even 2 at first, just to get the food faster to do double bid axe, and then you can add 3 or 4. I didn't pay attention exactly when he put those vills, but yeah. What is the one villager of TaToH doing right now? He wants to chop from the other side, apparently. Makes sense. But yeah, I don't. Again, it's one of those things where no one knows exactly what is the right way to do Burgundians yet, and that's also why it's exciting to see Burgundian games. Now we all have our opinions on Flemish Revolution. I'm not going to share mine publicly, except say that it sucks. But that's also one thing that hasn't been 100% figured out yet, and I think most people still agree that it's a ridiculous tech and way too strong, and that it sucks. But let's not share our opinion in public right now. Let's focus on the tournament.
And don't tell don't tell Viper that if we can host King of the Desert new edition, Burgundians, you cannot make Flemish Revolution. Don't share also that, okay? I'm giving you a premiere, but only to you, not to anyone else, okay?
Can we also ban Sicilians while we're at it?
You don't like Sicilians either? What, man, you're a hater, man. Viper, what is this, man?
You're just bad. No, but actually, we saw
man.
arena.
I mean, but why to ban them? People won't pick them.
That's true. Yeah, so just ban them. They won't be picked anyway, right?
Okay.
Take the choice away from people, so they don't have to be like, oh yeah, I'm ditching Sicilians and feel bad about it. Okay, but I want to say, Jordan played Malay against Sicilians against running, and he got wrecked by Sergeants. Sergeants with 8 pierce armor, pretty damn strong, and Malay don't really have that power unit that can clean up Sergeants, so Jordan got absolutely clapped by Sergeants and Sicilians.
But we really have to say that Arena is a special map that we can see specific strategies that just work in Arena.
Yeah,
like
very
not want to work in other map.
Yeah, 100%. We can see what Yo did now. He went for the fast fuel edge with Malay. Malay can be played kind of 2 ways. You can either go for a super fast fuel edge where you get all the fuel edge technologies before you start farming, for example. So every single farm of Yo will have horse color here, which is very nice for Malay. Or you go for the straight fast castle, which gives you a little bit of less of those economy upgrades, but you will still get to the castle edge faster and get those techs going. But even with this, Yo will still probably have a castle edge time almost as fast as TaToH, because that's just the power of Malay.
What do you prefer?
Yeah.
It depends.
But depends is not the right answer.
Okay, it's not so simple, man. You know, but
I know, but well.
No, I think on a map like Hideout, probably I would say the fast fuel, just to be able to adapt to if there's any aggression coming your way. On Arena, I think it depends against what civ I'm playing against. I think against Burgundians, I think I would have just gone fast castle, but it's always personal preference, right?
Okay. I mean, I have seen also what are they doing with this feudal boom. Most of the times, the one who is going to standard castle is now like TaToH now is gonna go at 27 villages, scout so 28 population, and the Malay will go like 20 seconds behind maybe, but with 5 villages more, like 32, 31, 32 villages, and almost the same time. 5 villages more for almost the same time is definitely worth it.
Yeah, indeed, and he has the TaToH has now made 4 farms. Oh, TaToH also has horse color. Never mind, that's true. Burgundians get that advantage as well. So yeah, TaToH went for market stable here, so he wants to have the market so he can. Oh wait, I thought he trapped the villager on the market, but yeah, all good. He will have the access to balance his economy a little bit with gold, and he will also be able to make the stables and monastery to compete for the relics. And this is generally like either you go for blacksmith stable or you go for market stable. In most cases, you don't do blacksmith upgrades anyway, so market makes more sense if you want to be able to play around with the economy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I assume Yo as well dropping a barracks. He will drop a blacksmith and also a stable. And we're gonna see big fight for the relics, which is the meta in arena right now.
Do you think it's worth it to commit? For example, yesterday, Mr.Yo, if I'm not wrong, he did light cap, +1, and husbandry to gather all the relics, and he did it. Then it was useless because he lost. But is that much investment on the stables needed? I think. Do you think it's worth it to do it with a civilization like Malay?
Well, I don't know how the villager situation ended up after. Like how far behind was he in villager count mid-cast?
20 villagers.
20?
You were 20 villagers ahead again.
Oh, yeah, and at the end of the game, yeah, but I'm thinking like...
no,
say
during
middle
that,
of
like
last stage.
10, 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I think it's too big of an investment. Yeah, I was surprised. I mean, he made a lot of scouts. I thought he invested about the same, but yeah, I never clicked his scouts to check if he had forging actually. Husbandry, I think I did husbandry as well, if I'm not mistaken. So we both had that. I could be wrong, maybe I didn't do it. But either way, yeah, I think that's probably an overinvestment in that end, because especially if you fell behind the villager count so much.
Yeah, and so, like we mentioned, look at this, Viper. It's not even 20 seconds. 8-second difference, 5 villages more.
That's the power of Malay.
Malay is amazing for arena, definitely, man. He's really amazing.
Look at TaToH though. He has bowsaw, he has heavy plow. That's beautiful with the Burgundians as well. And Burgundians, they get cheaper light cavalry attack in the stable. It will only be a 75 food cost to upgrade light cav, so that's also amazing to be able to fight for the relics. And if he gets the relic, it also generates food and gold, which is a civ bonus of the Burgundians. And Yo mixing some spearmen as well, so Yo definitely will try his best to compete for the relics. And we'll see if TaToH has no spearmen yet, but I expect him to do light cap quite fast.
Okay, he's doing a tone center right away. Yo, he's not doing yet the monastery. He doesn't have the wood. He's gonna make it as soon as he can. He has the village there. There you go. A little bit faster it's gonna be TaToH. I mean, I'm telling this because, you know, in arena, every second count to take the relics. And military numbers, a little bit ahead already. Yo, with the spear there. Very important to be able to take the units in the start. Has to be careful. Is there already with the light cap and all the scout for TaToH. So he has to run away, Mr. Viper, but 2 extra tone centers for TaToH. But also a few villages idle for quite a while in the berries.
Yeah, but also he has bowsaw and heavy plow, so you just imagine that the economy is actually better for the Burgundian player here, even though Yo has more villagers.
Yeah.
And TaToH also mixing in some spearmen now as well. Light cav coming in for both players at exactly the same time. Roughly the same situation right now, and I would say relics are better situated for TaToH here. 2 relics kind of right outside his gate, and the third one is kind of in between, but still closer to TaToH. So there's a big chance TaToH gets a big lead here with the relic situation.
Since Malay have the transition to Imperial that is insane, don't you think that maybe TaToH should commit a little bit more now in Castle? He has already great economy with heavy plow and bows, so 3 TCs. Try to avoid that Mr.Yo is coming on his face, like heavy, because the transition to him most likely will be always faster for Malay, at least that he kind of failed, and try to push a little bit even with a siege war so forward, or do you think that's maybe too much?
Oh, TaToH just missing the monk here of Yo. But as you say, it depends, right? If it depends how TaToH wants to, like what TaToH's long-term plan is as well. Is TaToH planning to go Flemish Revolution in early imp?
Yeah.
In that case, I think it's fine that Yo gets a forward position, because then TaToH just gets like 2-3 bomber cannons and a trebuchet, and then you do Flemish Revolution and just push back and clean up everything. In that case, I think it's fine. But yeah, as you say, if TaToH is planning to play a normal Imperial Age game, then definitely probably doesn't want a castle, for example, on the forward gold and forward stone, because that's it. TaToH's resources are exposed on the outside of the base, so he definitely wants to control that.
Quite a lot, and definitely Mr.Yo has explored everything. There is a lot of light gas, yet not too many kills, but all the kills, only 2 for Mr.Yo. Still trying to get the relics, and I think Mr.Yo might find that monk. No, well, he's taking a battle there that I'm not sure if he's good. Oh, well, he has the 2 spears, but he's hiding that monk on the right. But Mr.Yo is trying to find. No, still not finding. 1 relic for each player. So for now, I just hope that they get 3-2. I don't like when in arena game there is a 4-1 distribution. I know that you want 4 relics for TaToH, but like the relics can be really important. And imagine Burgundians with 4 relics.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're 4-1 relics, it's definitely a big advantage. Looks like Yo will actually be the one getting the advantage because he's going to try and pick up the relic now. TaToH is moving just at the right time though, so you'll probably see that Monk can pick it off quite quick and effectively. Yo again with a big investment on the cavalry units here, or scout light cavalry to try and get the relics, and so far kind of equal situation, but TaToH has kind of stopped making light cav. He's still making some spearmen, however. But I want to check the resources right now. Who has collected the most? Economy. They have collected almost the same. TaToH with slightly more.
Yeah, it's almost the same. It's crazy. It's crazy. Both civilizations really good with the economy for sure. And wait, 4-tone center. Well, this is, for example, already a difference. Yesterday with Malai, he only made 3 TCs the whole game. 21 minutes, 4-tone centers.
So he's planning to get a little bit of a
different.
stronger economy now. Like, even if he clicks up later to imp, he will still be fine. He will just have more villagers and have a stronger economy. So if Yo feels comfortable taking this to the late game, that's definitely a good way to do it by adding the 4th town center. TaToH adding a 4th TC as well. So they both are playing very similarly at the moment. We're gonna have to. The big thing will be, again, the main thing right now is still when/if TaToH is planning on Flemish Revolution and how fast.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, don't think it's gonna be super fast. But, he's gonna try to pick up a couple of monks.
Instantly picking off 2 monks there and not losing any light cav in return, getting out of there without losing a single light cav. Very nicely done by Mr.Yo.
He's doing the loom now, Mr.Yo. I don't know if he's planning to also go in some aggressive somehow, because the loom is definitely not needed. It's not a big deal, but still, he did it. And, well, military number is almost the same. It's still 5 villages more. Now they have both the same upgrades. Husbandry for TaToH, so they still fighting. They probably don't want to lose the middle, let's say. 2 relics for Yo. And
TaToH
TaToH
just lost 3 spearmen for free by leaving them isolated. Quite sloppy by TaToH there. TaToH is starting producing light cav again, and yeah, I'm missing handcart for TaToH. Like, wheelbarrow is just now coming for Yo. I think TaToH should have done handcart a long time ago. But yeah, that relic still being out there should never be the case. I think TaToH should have secured that. And also with husbandry, I'm surprised they didn't do that earlier, especially considering husbandry is only 75 food for
40 now.
He's only 40?
No, he's doing 14 now. He's doing
forging.
Attack.
I was like, okay.
40. He's doing
Yo repaying the favor, donating 3 spearmen to TaToH, making an even game. So that's a bit strange. And now TaToH is looking good to get the last relic. TaToH should probably come on the monks here. And Yo is just trying to convert the spearmen instead, which is a good move, considering that he's more likely to get those conversions, but gets 0, and TaToH gets away with full map control and gonna get the last relic as well. Even though Yo is chasing him down now with a light cav.
Yeah, gonna lose everything there. He has 4-tone centers. You can see 85 bullets, 81. I don't know if he's gonna buy some resources to try to go up. 40 farmers, 36. He's getting inside with the light.
That's why he did loom.
Yeah, he has no.
That's why Yo did loom.
Was expecting that, right?
Yeah.
Was expecting that. It's still gonna be annoying. It's light cats. Light cats also eat villages even if they have the loom. Even more if there's nothing to defend. He's creating some chaos in his economy, and TaToH is on the way to Imperial. He's gonna be faster, maybe not, because if he balances the economy and he click with Malai, this is the Mai of Malai, that he probably will be up to Imperial faster, but he's gonna be very, very close. Doing the buildings, Viper, and when he's doing the building, probably he will buy the resources. Only 2 villages on gold, but he still have a lot of gold, as 3 relics. Now TaToH 2 relics. And, what is the approach now in Imperial for both players?
I mean, first up, those 3 light cav have gotten so much value. They killed 2 scouts, they killed a villager, and they're forcing Yo to make a knight and more spearmen. So those 3 light cav getting in has been so annoying for him. And TaToH going for a forward siege now. Looks like TaToH wants to go for Paladin. Probably Paladin, maybe bomber cannon. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Nikov played against same name Arena with Burgundians against Malay. And Nikov just went full Paladin and killed same name straight up with Paladin.
Yeah, and if he's going range units, even easier, because he's going archery ranges now. And, oh boy.
But that's the thing, right? Yo has to kind of prepare in case Flemish Revolution is coming, right? If Yo was going Halberdier right away, and then like, oh shit, TaToH is just doing Flemish Militia, then the Halberdier are useless. So that's the issue with playing against Burgundians as well. You just don't know. And TaToH's going to be faster to the Imp. He's going to have Paladin being researched immediately upon hitting Imp. And as I said, Yo is going for Arbalest, and Yo is now doing a forecast as well. If TaToH can get the Paladin upgrade fast, get numbers up to 20, 30 Paladin, and get Bomber Cannons out, this could be a very, very strong situation.
Those civilizations like Kumans, right? And like, what is Kuman going to do? The second TC, the fast Imperial, full boom, even coming forward with the Rams and Towers, whatever. Like, he's kind of tricky all the time. And Burgundians is one of those resources. Amazing. He's doing the Paladins right away. Obviously, Mr.Yo need to explore now and see what army he's doing, his opponent. Otherwise, this is gonna be, oof. Very, very rough. The score seems to be very similar, but the advantage, in my opinion, should be with this army composition for TaToH doing the chemistry right away, Mr. Viper.
Yeah, like I said, if those bomber cannons also have 25% extra damage, so if he gets 2-4 bomber cannons out and gets like Paladin numbers in the 20s, Yo's transition is gonna take a lot of time here, and Yo is kind of committed though. I think it will be hard for him to. He's doing barracks now, but now it's the thing where okay, now you're switching to barracks, but that's gonna take time, and you already have ranges. So you kind of want to still make Arbalest. It's a very tricky situation for Yo right now, and behind this, TaToH could keep making villagers up to the 150, 160, 170, and like if he has 170 villagers, 30 Paladin, 4 bomber cannons, he could sacrifice his Paladin,
make Flemish,
do Flemish, and then you have bomber cannons and Flemish. It's just such a powerful civ with all these transitions and gimmicks you can throw out there. And Paladin, less than a minute away. Bomber cannons can start to be produced now because chemistry is done. That's the one thing I'm missing now from TaToH. The bomber cannons has to be starting. TaToH. Sorry, I'm cheering for TaToH. But TaToH, make bomber cannons.
Nah, we don't notice. We don't notice. I mean,
TaToH!
TaToH, dale, hombre! Well,
Fiesta!
It's +2. Stop sleeping, man. Stop sleeping. But now he's sending Cavaliers under the castle in a bad spot. What is he doing? What is he doing here? Wasting army for free. Literally, if you ask me, I don't like that one. I really don't like that one. What do you want to achieve there in that spot? Of course you will kill it. But your army is much more expensive than what Mr.Yo got in that spot, Viper.
Yeah, but I mean, then again, he did actually end up cleaning up the whole Arbalest numbers, and that's quite nice for him. Now, Halberdier is done almost now, and the upgrades are getting in, so maybe TaToH adding like 3-4 ranges as well and getting some hand carriers on the field would be nice for him, but still, I mean, he still keeps making villagers, but I would love to see him just queue up another 20 villagers, because if he gets, let's say he gets 8 bomber cannons, he has 20 Paladin, Yo will have to keep making Halberdiers, and then you just slap the button, and suddenly you have 200 military, with 8 of them being bomber cannons. I do not see how it is physically possible to stop that.
And seriously, Viper, do you think it's normal that upgrade just needs 5 seconds? I mean, 5 seconds to make it?
If it was 5 minutes, it would still be stupid.
Well, but 5 seconds is less kryptonite to Superman, you know, like... I don't know. I mean, he's doing everything. Treadmill Crane, at least skirmishes. Now the Paladins is in the north, a lot of halves. Let's focus in this battle. But like you said, if he put TaToH in problems with the halves and Arbalest and take the Paladins, he clicked the button, bam! And then look at the resources. I'm not surprised if he's not gonna make it. I wouldn't be surprised if he's gonna click it. I'm afraid that he will click. Very soon, actually.
The fact that he's doing skirms right now makes me think that he still has the Flemish in his mind, but he will continue with skirmishers and Paladin initially, and then when the situation stabilizes a little bit more, that's when he might hit the button. But for now, the Halberdier is out of position. Sure, he will kill the bomber cannons, but this is the time for TaToH to maybe jump at the Paladin. He decides not, and yeah, TaToH kind of waits with his bomber cannons here initially.
But how many civilizations of Viper are with almost 180 population? You have 20 Paladins, well, Paladins, skirmishers, all the upgrades, and his resources are Michi economy. I mean, it's like he's trading right now. I mean, look at the economy he has. 2,000 food. I mean, look at the castle he's doing close to Mr.Yo base, taking that goal in the north. Oof, this looks so damn good, but obviously, same population for both players. Mr.Yo is not gonna give up. Definitely not. So many units for Mr.Yo now.
For sure, Mr.Yo has a very cost-effective composition. Halberdier, Arbalest, generally speaking, one of the most cost-effective compositions in the game.
Viper, it's open. He get the
it's
gate,
open.
and now the Paladin, if he's not walling, he's gonna raid all his economy.
the-
He's gonna wall. It's walling, and now he has to be
But-
careful. He can get trapped as well.
Yeah, but there is one petard, so he could potentially blow up one of the house foundations now. But Yo is just making it safe. And yeah, Yo is about to get... TaToH is about to get trapped here.
Oof.
That's gonna be 20 paladins, 16 paladins. Oh, he gets out just in time. He will still lose a few,
Okay.
but yeah, could have been worse.
Well, the
think
score
the
now
biggest
is taking the lead for Yo.
Yeah, the biggest issue for TaToH was still just the way he lost those first couple of bomber cannons. Those are supposed to be your snowball unit, and when you lose the first 3 bomber cannons kind of for free, that never plays out well for you.
And the thing here is, if now he's doing the Flemings right now, yeah, Mr.Yo has good amount of army. Can he stop that army? Like, it's
No.
impossible, man. It's impossible. But he probably not gonna make it because there is no siege. You need siege, that we were mentioning before with the NBL game. And so many paladins and skirmishes. Paladins are really strong, but they are also very expensive. And well, remind to the viewers that they don't have bloodlines.
Yeah, indeed. Again, if see TaToH's doing armor upgrade. You know why he's doing that? That's not because he's switching to halberdiers. That's not because of halberdiers. He is preparing for the Flemish switch, and TaToH kind of jumping now. The halberdier numbers are still there. This is probably not a good jump for TaToH. Between 2 castles and underneath a bunch of halberdiers and arbalists. Very strange fight for TaToH, but it does clean up some bomber cannons and trebuchets, and he is the one now with the more bomber cannons alive, and that is very important for a Burgundians player. And he's still making skirmishes. He's doing the armor upgrades again. He has stopped producing paladin entirely. I'm surprised he's not making more vills. If he's planning to make the switch to Flemish, he should be making more vills right now.
Yeah.
Look at these resources. He might want to do the technology first. What's it
The
called?
food one, I don't remember the number, the name, sorry.
Burgundian vineyards or something.
Oh, Forced Levy. Forced Levy for Mr.Yo. I mean, both are going to do probably all the techs, you know, that they have both civilizations. Onegger upgrade to Kut, and then try to raid all over, probably. Because Tontin is just to deal with the Arbalists. He can deal with the Arbalists, in my opinion, in a better way. And then, oh, man. How to stop that? Well, Forced Levy, maybe with the 200 swords he can do something. The 200 swords can do something against the Flemish.
Not really. Maybe they
Can
trade
something
okay,
do
but
something against the Flemish, Viper, please? Give me
Nothing. Nothing can do.
Nothing, okay. Pepperoni
again,
pizza,
jumping
the cheating, something, nothing.
They can have a siesta. But,
Okay, well.
TaToH is going to clean up the trebuchet and then get out of there again with the paladin. So he was forced into making more paladin. Again, I think the main issue for TaToH right now is that he does not have the bomber cannon numbers. He has 2 trebuchets on the top side now. I guess he's going to shoot houses or something to try and open a raiding path there. And also, I would love to see TaToH make more villagers. If he wants to make the Flemish switch, have 160, 170 villagers, doesn't matter, and then you go ham. But you need that bomber cannon mass, and there's 0 bomber cannons on the map for TaToH right now.
And look at Mr.Yo, how he knows what is happening. Look at the walls he's doing at home. He's doing a stone wall. Look at this, I'm gonna put his point of view. He can see the honest, he's trying to cut. He's doing the guilds. TaToH, because probably he wants to sell a little bit. I don't remember how much cost in terms of gold for the Flemish. Was 600 gold?
Yeah, I think it's 600 now.
600, right? So he need a little bit. He's gonna take that trebuchet. This is so intense. Remember that this is just the game to go for the grand final. Viper, we need to hype this because it's so important match. Ay, ay, ay.
True, indeed. A single big mistake can cost him the chance to play in the final against Jordan or Lyric. And there's no halberdiers anymore with the bomb cannon and arbalist of the Yo. So TaToH gets a nice shot, and the paladins are now on top, and is cutting through at the same time. But he's only cutting through to be able to raid. I don't think this is with Flemish in mind. TaToH is playing this as if Flemish doesn't exist right now. But last armor upgrade coming in.
Yeah.
Indeed.
After
That
the
might be a sign.
Oh my god. After the plate mail, look at the military from Yo. Military from Yo right now 25, while TaToH is gonna have soon 200 population in military, which seems to be very, very balanced.
Look at the town centers. Town centers of TaToH are producing 10 villages in production. This is a sign, guys.
Oh my god.
And at the same time, he's cutting, he's killing villagers on top. The paladins are coming in now to raid. Yo is forced to make a second castle in the back of his base to just be safe against the raids. And at the same time, the skirms of TaToH are trading effectively enough. And while Yo is trying to switch to a 200 swordsman, and sure, 200 swordsman will do good against the skirms, but that's not only what he's going to be facing soon.
But seriously, Viper, this economy is ridiculous. Look at the economy he has. Look at the food he has, the gold, everything. And now, is he doing the upgrade or no? He's doing the upgrade in the castle that is outside. After that trebuchet, the Flemish is going to happen. And check now in 5 seconds. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and where this?
What?
Oh, he canceled. Oh, come on!
He cancelled.
He canceled just to make me look bad. Viper,
There is a
kick
doubt
TaToH
possible
from your
way.
team. He canceled. He canceled. I mean, Viper, what is this? Come on, this is debated, man. This is debated. I'm off now. I'm not casting
I
anymore.
actually think
What
the
the
reason he
troll?
cancelled was. I think he cancelled because he.
No.
didn't know
Let's go fight. Let's go hyper guy.
And cancel.
He,
There we go.
He canceled a
Flemish
guy.
are in. No, it's
No,
in.
no,
It's in.
no. Okay,
It's
okay,
in.
okay. And the army?
Move the
Okay, this
unit.
is
Go.
Walking Dead game now. But man, maybe he's not gonna kill. Maybe
don't
he's
like
not gonna
the
kill
timing.
Viper.
I don't like the timing.
No, me either. That have the siege, he got Arbalest. He got now the 200 swords, 2 castles, the trebuchet. TaToH might lose the game here, Viper. I don't know, I mean... Oh my god, the trap. And he's coming, Walking Dead incoming. 175 military, Viper.
Yeah, the arm is crossing the field, but then again, look at the siege. There's 2 bomber cannons, 1 trebuchet. That's not enough. TaToH needed to
No.
build up 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 bomber cannons even. Because that's when the real snowball happens. That's when all the buildings disappear. However, TaToH is doing it now. Obviously now there's 164 military crossing the field. And Yo trying to rush up a 3rd castle in the same position here. Because he knows now this timing here is crucial for both of them. For the time being, there's a bit of a snowball happening here, but Yo defending nicely so far. The castles are still standing.
That he has
What?
murder holes in his castle.
I don't think Yo has murder holes, no.
I don't think he has, right? It would be great. It would be just
Oh, he
great
gets on top of the
here.
arbalest. Okay, the arbalest is getting in. But yeah, 3 castles there. If those, I mean, those 3 castles will most likely go down here. The issue though for TaToH is his military numbers is already down to 115. Okay, I like what TaToH is doing now. He's just falling back a little bit with his Flemish. He doesn't need to be under 2 castles. He has the siege advantage now. He has still skirmishers to fight the arbalest. So just wait, bring the bomber cannons out, bring the trebuchet out, and then you can dive.
Oh,
But then
the
again,
trebuchet.
Yo still has bomber cannons as well
Lose the
himself.
trap. He's losing the trap. So important. So important killing the trap. Now the other bomber cannon. Oh my goodness. He took the bomber cannon in the last second, and I'm gonna tell you also something. He has 43 villains, but if he's not killing those castles, it's gonna be impossible. And now he can spam 200 swords also forever. Arbalest, he's just going to repair that castle, and it's only 1 bomber cannon. It's not working, Viper. It's not working for TaToH this. No, not anymore. 67 military, 51 villains only. It's not working. Mr.Yo is holding the Walking Dead.
Indeed, the way for TaToH now to play is pretty much fall back, stabilize, get your villager numbers up again, and try to hold. The timing just felt wrong. It felt off. He wasn't even maxed out on population. He should have probably made another 15-20 villagers before he did it. And of course, 3 bomber cannons and 1 trebuchet was not enough to start wiping out those castles. That was a big misplay on the timing from TaToH on the Flemish Revolution. And the thing is, it's a one-time research, so you will not see a Flemish Revolution again. Although he could make Flemish militia from the town centers. But yeah,
Imagine
right now,
this if we see all the time. Oh my god.
yeah, TaToH is in big trouble right now.
Yeah.
The good
Well,
thing is he
population-
cleaned up. Yeah, he cleaned up so much of Yo's army that Yo doesn't have a counterattack ready to go yet, and that is the good thing for TaToH. He will probably get back up to the population he needs. He has how many town centers? He has 8 town centers, so he's booming with 8 villages being produced at a time, and he will get back to a stable economy. Probably we will enter a 200 population game again, but TaToH did not get the value he was hoping for.
And Viper, with 63 farmers, Mr.Yo, how many long swords he can make now in the late game?
2,474.
Can make forever. Can make forever. He's taking the owner in the north. I think he will kill. No, he saved it. Now he's gonna take that castle. It's gonna be very difficult. 173 population. TaToH impressive already with 90 villages after. Remember that average just put you to 0 villagers. But he has now 91. He's like booming twice during the same game. And
Yeah, but
now it's so difficult, Viper. It's almost
now
impossible. I don't know. What do you think?
yeah, now we enter the situation where gold is not going to be, gold army is not going to be a thing for TaToH. Of course, there is still gold for him to mine under the castle, but yeah, Yo has the 200 swordsmen, and they don't cost gold, and they're super cost effective against skirmishers. Yo also still has 20 arbalists alive, or 16 arbalists, and he has bomber cannons alive. I don't know.
48 farmers still now. He has 50 farmers. He has good. I mean, he has the same builds now than Mr.Yo. But the problem is that now Mr.Yo is the one who is going to be able to spam probably much better units. Those 200 swords will be there forever. Cab rams coming with the bomber cannons. This is really looking rough now for TaToH. TaToH will lose the last Flemish units, Flemish militia, taking absolutely everything. And Mr.Yo, it looks that he's getting into the grand final. Viper, well, there is some paladins here coming. He's trying to kill the bomber cannons and the siege, but not much more paladins he will be able to do it because there's no gold anymore.
Obviously, I'm biased. No hiding that. So I feel like this was such a lost opportunity. I feel like TaToH was in such a good spot, and then he kind of just mistimed the whole thing a little bit. Yeah, similar to MBL last or yesterday, where the timing was just completely off. But that's the thing. No one knows exactly how to play Burgundians yet. But I feel like the main thing when you want to go Burgundians Flemish Revolution is you need to have that siege follow-up.
Well,
you need to have the bomb cannons, you need the trebuchets.
Then Viper is not really terrible for the game, in the sense that if you don't execute properly this one, even if we might think, and I agree that it's a stupid upgrade, you know, and really, really too strong, it's not impossible to stop.
It is not. We've seen it lose now twice in a row, right? So
yeah,
definitely not impossible to stop, but it's still, it doesn't feel like
AoE.
How to say it? Not AoE. It doesn't feel like a strategic, real-time strategy decision that suddenly you have 200 military units. It doesn't feel right.
We will see in the timeline when the game finishes how great it's gonna look that timeline.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, you know, it's really hilarious. Didn't say that, population for Yo, 85 largest army with 70 farmers. He's getting now inside of TaToH base, he's gonna raid even the farmers and everything. TaToH is keep trying, but he probably knows, he probably feels that this is getting too complicated, because when, well, he's now have Hussars, but when he's getting inside with all this army, and now, yeah, look at the spam for Mr.Yo. Now Mr.Yo is the one who is spamming forever.
Yeah, the army composition now is just way better for the melee player. With the Arbalest alive still, he has Skirmisher, Halberdiers, and 200 swordsmen that don't cost gold. While TaToH, the only thing you can make really is Hussar and Skirmishers, and that is not going to be enough. When you also are down on the relics 2 to 3, there is not really too much you can do here in TaToH's shoes, unfortunately. And TaToH, afraid he will lose the 2 relics as well, as the monastery is on the front. And even behind this, Yo can also take the gold and the stone that is in the front of TaToH's base. And I'm afraid TaToH is going to have to take a breath and realize that this did not work out for him. Even though I personally think if he built up cannon numbers, he would have won the game. And that's
probably
interesting.
He never got more than 2-3 maybe at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. If he had 8 bomb cannons when he did Flemish, I don't see how Yo stops that.
You saw that we got similar reaction when he did the Fleming. I mean, we were joking because he cancelled 1 or 2 times. We were like, "Oh, it's not looking great." Like it was our first comment right away. Like, it doesn't look like a straight position to push.
Well, TaToH is still holding on. It's only 170 population and definitely fighting on. He is expanding on the bottom side as well, making a new town center. He's definitely in the right to keep playing for sure, because he still has a healthy population. It's just that the outlook for his future is not looking bright. And getting some advantages in there as well. The issue is though that Yo can still add bomber cannons. And Yo still has, look at Yo's bank. He can make gold units forever.
Or elephant.
Even elephant.
Yeah. They are 40% cheaper, if I'm not wrong, after the last one. So they are incredibly cheap. And TaToH doesn't have helps, so...
He's going for a counter raid now. He's going to find Wilson the gold, so that's quite nice for him. But again, these are desperate moves where you're trying your best to just figure out somewhere to do damage. And even though his population still is healthy, when you look in his base, the Arbalists are on top of his town centers, bomber cannons come in, the relics are exposed, and the 200 swordsmen are on top of his skirmishers. This is looking borderline impossible for TaToH to stop.
Yeah, it is almost impossible. Now doing the goals is still at the limit in terms of food for Mr.Yo, but as you say, he's reading everything inside. He can expand now 200 swords. I mean, we cannot see the value of these 200 swords. People probably doesn't imagine. They are just one upgrade away for champions, and you can make them only with food, TheViper.
Exactly, and they're
it's amazing.
champion is the counter unit to full trash units, and what TaToH can make now is full trash units. So if you have a soft champion in your army that doesn't cost gold, that's ridiculously strong at this stage in the game. And yeah, TaToH is just going to keep trading inefficiently. His population is dropping, and Yo is slowly but safely bringing the game home and advancing to the grand final of the Open Classic.
Well, Mr.Yo is about to be there. The Chinese in the grand final. He's gonna be waiting Leary or Jordan. Let's see which is gonna be his opponent. This is almost impossible now for TaToH, and it's not impossible anymore. It's just over, and Mr.Yo, Viper, did it. The comeback, great series, and yeah, I mean we can say that TaToH did a small mistake with the, well, you cannot even call mistake, the timing, right? That wasn't the ideal, but great series, amazing series, really, to watch.
Yeah. I'm going back in time. I want to see when he did Flemish. I want to, okay, I have the, is this when he canceled it? Oh, that's where I did it. Okay. Okay. So let me just go back a few more seconds. I'm at 45:28 right now. This is 2 seconds before TaToH does Flemish Revolution.
45?
Sorry? 45:28. 45:28.
Yeah, now I listen.
If he did it at 25 minutes, I would be impressed.
Yeah.
So, if we're looking at the situation now, TaToH has 142 villagers, 34 military. He still has 25 population to fill.
Yeah.
You don't want to do Flemish unless you're maxed out, pretty much, because that's when you have the maximum potential to do anything. So essentially what TaToH did now was throw away 25 population, kind of. What TaToH should have done, again, he only has one siege workshop. Of course, he's queuing up bomber cannons here, which looked promising because it looked like he was building up for Flemish Revolution a little bit later. But the timing now just became wrong because he has one trebuchet, he has 3 bomber cannons soon, and that is just simply not enough to get a snowball on multiple castles. And yeah, again, if TaToH had built up, let's say, 8 bomber cannons behind this and still just waited another 3-4 minutes before he did Flemish, he would have had 200 population, 8 bomber cannons, and probably 150 Flemish militia, supported by some paladins, some skirms, and of course the bomber cannon. And that's where this becomes scary, when the castles disappear and there's just so much army running on top of you. And that's how you take away the comeback potential as well. Even if he kills all the Flemish militia, you have destroyed so many castles, you have destroyed production buildings, maybe even took out the monastery. And that's where Yo suddenly, if he wants to come back, he would have to be like, okay, I have to remake all my production buildings, I have to get the relics, I have to set up again. And it's just a sequence of things that happens if you have the siege follow-up. And unfortunately for our boy TaToH, he did not have that. And yeah, this Flemish Revolution timing was definitely a suspect, no question about it.
Yeah, the two bomber cannons, Viper, only.
Yeah,
he couldn't do it. Well, was great series. Great series.
Fantastic
I know
series.
that obviously, yeah, but we want series like this, Viper. I mean, we can be all happy with this first semifinal globally, because it has been fantastic series to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. No question about it. And
well, Mr. Viper, I just want to give you thank you so much for the cocast and for the tournament. Hopefully you have enjoyed, and I will leave you because we're going to keep going with the second semifinal, and hopefully your viewers also have enjoyed. Thank you, Mr. Viper.
Thank you for being here, man. It was a pleasure to have you, and enjoy the rest of your day. You're going to cast the rest of the tournament as well, and it's happening over at MembTV. So if you guys want to see more of the crazy Spaniard, go to his channel and check him out. And
I will take the siesta later. Not
yeah, siesta comes later. Right, man.
Okay.
Have a good one. I'll see you around.
Thank you, Viper. See you guys. See you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, guys. Well, this has been Mr.Yo versus TaToH. Hopefully you have enjoyed. Hopefully really you have enjoyed. It has been a great series. Mr.Yo took it in the last second, and this has been amazing. Thumb up always on YouTube for this semifinal. Okay, thumb up.